Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Toby. Welcome to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. I'm going to give a big shout out to my day ones for the past 6 years, my subscribers, my listeners. I appreciate people who talk about this podcast, who share this podcast, who support this podcast, who write reviews for this podcast. Really appreciate all your support. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been giving it away for free. So many people ask me why I don't film it, why I don't monetize on YouTube, why don't I charge people for it on Patreon? And their answer is because I don't want to. I love these conversations in my kitchen. I love the honesty. I love that people want to come back for 2 or 3 episodes, the reoccurring guests that I have all the time. I love it. No lights, no cameras. I myself do not like going on podcasts that are being filmed and have lights. I've done it a couple times. I'll probably never do it again. I don't feel like myself in those situations. So I want all my guests to be as comfortable as possible. I do have sponsors. The sponsors keep my shit going. They keep it alive. But I will never interrupt a conversation with an ad in the middle of it. People do that all the time, and I will never interrupt the flow of a conversation. So don't worry about that. But I do have amazing sponsors who I align myself with, the products that I use on a daily basis. I've turned down so much money for sponsors that want to be part of this podcast with companies I've never tried or didn't align with. I'm very picky about who I have on my sponsors and have on this podcast. That being said, check out the sponsors. Joe, cue up the music. Since 1987, Rockabilia has been around doing officially licensed merch. No bootlegs from all the artists that I freaking love, from pop to hip hop to rock to hardcore to punk. Over 500,000 items on this website, independently owned, operated in the USA. Custom limited collabs drop every month exclusively on this website from visual artists and tattoo artists. We have so many bands that I love and artists that I love, from Gaga to Blink, Katy Perry, Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, De La, Tribe Called Quest, 50 Cent, Billy, Deftones, Dead Kennedys, DMX, Dr. Dre, Eric B. and Rakim, Goo Goo Dolls, Hall & Oates, Wu-Tang, U2, Snoop, TSO, and Paramore. Those is to name a few of all my favorite bands that are on this website. I've owned t-shirts from all those artists throughout my life. Now I know to go here only. All officially licensed merchandise. Check out Rockabilia Instagram. Also go to rockabilia.com and use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off. That's rockabilia.com. Use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off your purchases. Thank you to Rockabilia for being our new sponsor. Welcome to OLLC fam. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them as a sponsor of my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just store a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies. In one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have a very, very, very special guest, man. This may be the second person I met in New York and ended up sleeping at his house for I don't know how long I lived there for. Back on the podcast, the original podcast was in 2019. I did a Queens episode, which was a phone call, which I hate doing. But Arthur Smilios, thank you for being here, bro.
Thanks for having me. This will be easier too, because the phone call one, my hearing is shot. And I remember, I don't know what kind of editing you had to do. I was in my bedroom on 142nd Street, and I was like, "Wait, what'd you say, Toby? Wait, what? I can't hear. What?"
This is way better in person.
Yeah, it is.
It's nice to see you.
It's good to
catch
see you.
up in my kitchen.
Always.
Can you see without your glasses right now?
I'm good. I'm nearsighted, so I can see. And it's a nice kitchen.
Thank you. It's your first time at my house.
Yeah, it's
nice.
my first time at the Morse residence, and it's beautiful.
Thank you, man. Also, I always have to pay homage and give respect to hairlines. You have a great hairline. Every time someone comes on, I have hair envy. Your hair, you have a wonderful hairline.
You have all your hair.
Yeah, I do, but not like that. Your hair looks great.
Oh, thank you.
I always give props to the hair.
It's going gray
man.
now, though.
Yeah, no, it looks good though.
I'm psyched, but I'm good.
It's
I'm
okay.
good.
We're in our 50s now.
And we are.
Stigma's got a full hair. He was here yesterday. He's got a full mohawk, which is incredible, man.
And none of it's gray.
Yeah, you're right. I guess so. He's Benjamin Buttons of hardcore, literally, dude. He's aging backwards, man.
He is. I was with him 2 weeks ago in Holland, and I'm looking at the guy's head, and I'm just like, he still has black hair.
I know. What a legend.
Love him.
These are like our heroes. I was talking about it yesterday. Obviously, I know Strummer's a big hero of yours.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you know, people had Joe Ramone, which is one for us, obviously, but also Joe Strummer. But then like in the hardcore scene, it's like, these are the ones, like Vinny Stigman, Roger still playing hardcore, Kevin Second still out there, Keith Morris, all these still playing in their 60s, man. It's incredible, man.
We just did a show with the Circle Jerks in Connecticut.
Oh, you did?
In September, yeah. It was really cool.
Keith Morris still going up on stage, like almost 70 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something about this music. I guess it's all genres. It keeps us really young. It's like the spirit inside. It's really magical, man. It's interesting.
It's funny because I don't know about you, but I never would have anticipated when I was 16 that it would still be in my life at 56, because it just doesn't seem like a genre that's gonna age well.
Yeah.
Or but somehow here we are, and it's still fun to do. But the cool thing is that what I've noticed the last couple of years is just how the next generation has taken it and improved upon it.
Crazy.
And just doing great, like all these young bands just doing great things.
The diversity in hardcore is incredible.
That's the beautiful thing. It seems to me that hardcore now with the young kids, the Gen Z kids, is what you and I wanted it to be back then.
Yeah, when we sing, people were fighting during Walk Together, Rock Together, and all these positive unity songs back then. People weren't really getting the message.
Yeah. And
now they are.
And the diversity of it, too.
It's like incredible,
it's not just like a bunch of white males.
Yeah, man, yeah.
It's like exactly the shit that you and I would talk about, and that what we liked and what we wanted to see out of the world. Because the scenes now look like the way. Okay, so I grew up in New York, and you lived in New York for so long. The scene looks like when you go outside in New York.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I like that. And then so that's interesting that it's become so multi-generational.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry, but I never thought.
And the fact that like GB, with one record and a 7-inch and maybe another 7-inch, are still respected, still relevant. It's incredible, man. The GB thing is just so remarkable to me, because a lot of bands came back and had these reunions and stuff, and some of them fizzled out already, and some of them maybe expected to be like GB. But there's something so powerful about Start Today that transcended generations, and like to see you guys are playing with all different bands, new bands, old bands. It's such a beautiful thing, Arthur. It's crazy, man.
I'm lucky. I'm a lucky person because I just didn't. You were around for the recording of Start Today.
I sang that shit, bro. Yeah.
I just didn't. I mean, I knew we were onto something, and I knew those songs were special. But again, saying to allude to what we were just discussing, I never would have thought that 30 years down the road, it would still have relevance. I think one of the things though about now is that we actually really like each other still.
Yeah,
and we really like playing.
People know it's a real friendship.
That's what it is.
Yeah. There's a bond there.
That's what it. Those guys are really my friends. And, and whether or not we did this, they'd still be my friends, and I would still talk to them and want to hang out with them. So,
and you're not faking it. You're not doing it to get money. You guys have
it's fun.
Families, you have jobs, you have real lives, you have responsibilities. It's not like your full-time thing. and you go out and play these fun shows and festivals and these cool like billings you guys are playing with different artists. I don't know. Just people know that it's like, I don't know, it's just fun, you know?
Well, I can only speak for myself, but I have more fun doing it now than I did when I was in my, teens and 20s. And
yeah,
for a couple of reasons. One is, I'm more comfortable now with myself. I say I used to want attention, and I'd be jumping around and wanting to get attention. I don't care about that anymore.
Yeah.
I stand in the back and play the bass because that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
The other thing is too, back then, you're invincible, you're young, and life goes on. I look at every show we play now as this could be the last time I do this, so I'm gonna appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'm sober, so
Yeah.
that's the other thing too. I haven't.
Good point.
I don't drink now for a decade, so I'm much more into because the thing, you don't know this, and that's smart and good, but even if you're not drunk,
Yeah.
it stays in your system. So if I get drunk and then I played a show 20 hours later, I'm not drunk anymore, but my brain I don't have the acuity that I would if I weren't drinking. So
yeah.
that's the other thing. I enjoy it more because I know I'm just playing better and really experiencing the whole thing. And
Yeah, you're all there. You're in it. Yeah.
so that's for me. And I guess I could, I know they love doing it too still.
And playing those songs still.
They're
it's
good
like,
songs.
I know, great songs.
They're really,
man.
really good songs. I forget sometimes, and then I just will be playing and I'll listen and I'll just think, wow, that's a great lyric. I was listening to this podcast the other day, and it was just talking about, it wasn't a podcast. I was reading Naomi Klein's book, Doppelganger, and she gets into so many things. I love her, by the way. She's such a great author.
I check her out, yeah.
Oh, she's incredible.
Okay.
And one of the things she's talking about is how what's become of us, particularly with social media. And I'm not knocking social media. It's got its positive things, but its negative things it's basically we've commodified ourselves. We've made ourselves into a brand, and we're doing, we're not being people. We're just trying to sell ourselves and trying to achieve something. And
Great point.
It reminds me like Walter, with those lyrics in Stand Still, it just hit me the other day. I can't get with the ads I see. They're better looking than me. And
wow.
That's before the internet, before social media, but it's still the same destructive influence that capitalism has.
Yeah, man. That's
where
a really good point.
Yeah, they're selling you an ideal that's false,
Totally.
illusory, and that you can never achieve.
Yeah.
And then, here it is now on steroids with things like social media.
It's crazy. You've been off there for 3 years now.
I've been off for 3 years. Yeah. I miss certain things. I miss a lot of, there are some things I miss about Instagram. I followed some really cool accounts, but mostly I don't.
Yeah. Are more people texting you now, like looking, checking in with you?
Yeah. And the thing about it is, it's like, I didn't leave social media because of social media. That's because of me, because I have an addictive personality.
Yeah.
I couldn't control myself.
Totally.
And all I found was
everybody's addicted to it, man.
Yeah, but I'm really, when I get into something,
Okay.
that's it. And I would just sit there scrolling and
You checked your hour times on there? How many hours you were spending?
I
on there?
refuse to.
Okay.
I refused to because I probably would have just walked into the Hudson River and just let myself drown. But I found that I was just angry, getting myself angry. I couldn't concentrate on things. I would read and it wouldn't retain it. It had just absolutely, completely short-circuited.
Wow.
And then once I got off, I decided to get off right before my daughter was born. It was about a month before she was born. I said, she's going to come into this world and I'm going to be with her. I'm going to be present.
100% present.
It's it.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know if I was having a daughter at the time, though, by the way. I just knew I was having a kid.
Yeah.
And so that's why I did it, because it was a me problem. It wasn't a social media problem.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I said, there are some things I really do miss, like going on there, and things that made me laugh. And I like some of these cool historical accounts as well. But
yeah, it's a necessary evil, I think, for people that are promoting something legit wise, like music or something. But yeah, otherwise than that, it's just a cesspool of negativity, and everybody's got an opinion. And it's just all this dark shit and division, especially during the pandemic and the elections and the politics. It was just so too much, man.
Well, that's what happened, is that I realized I stopped engaging with people years and years ago.
Yeah.
I used to get into it with people back in like 2008, 2009. I used to get into it with people. And all I realized was that it's not constructive, because all that's happening is like we're in our camps and we're lobbing shit at each other.
Absolutely.
And, it's okay. I said something pithy. I feel so good about myself. What did I do? What's the point? I didn't communicate with you. I drove you off that much more, rather than creating a dialogue to see is there something on which we can agree so that we can talk? Because look, I have really strong political views, and I obviously, of course, I wish everybody had the same views as me because but we don't. And the thing is, we have to live with each other.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to go for eliminationist rhetoric. Like they want to, like there are plenty of people on the other side that want to kill people like me. You know, I don't want to kill anybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit somebody down and just say, what's wrong with you? Like you hate me, you hate me. But the things that I believe, if these programs were implemented, you would benefit.
Yeah.
Everybody would benefit.
We have more in common than you think with people.
That's it. But the thing is, it's like you're blaming the wrong people is the problem.
Yeah.
Like instead of looking at the system that's problematic and the people that run that system, it's the Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezoses. These people are the problem.
Yeah.
It's not the immigrant.
Yeah.
It's not the person. It's not the Muslim.
Yeah.
That's not who the problem is, man.
Yeah.
The problem is class, and the problem is systemic, and so anyway.
And nobody's gonna have a face-to-face conversation like that anymore.
Yeah, and I've had that opportunity at times.
That's good. Yeah.
And you know, I mean, there was this one guy in the street, and it was at a big protest during the first Trump administration, and I don't know why I got into it with him, and very calmly just sat there, and he said, he was saying he's a libertarian, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. And then by the end of the conversation, he said, wow, he said, I never spoke to an actual socialist before.
Damn.
And I said, yeah, our complaints are the same.
Yeah.
It's just my solutions are different from yours.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Anyway, but again, it's I'm not being overly optimistic. There are some people that are irredeemable. If you're just like a convicted bigot and that's what you do and you like drinking from the trough of hate, I really don't think we can say anything to each other. But a lot of people are just simply misled and misguided, and they think that you think that people who come from other countries are the cause of their problem. It's not the case, but
there are a lot of problems in our country.
God.
But so not being on social media has helped you mentally, everything, man. It's been so much game changer
just for me. Again, just for me, because I can concentrate now. I can be present now. I read and I remember what I'm reading 10 minutes later. So it's
a great point too.
Again, and I always try to tell you it's not a matter of me. I'm not knocking social media, and I don't want people to feel that I'm feeling smug or superior. It's not. It's me that's the problem. That's why I stopped doing it, because I couldn't control myself. Whereas most people can control themselves and just have it in there. And this is just a part of my day. But I would find myself just sitting around and then just playing on the phone and scrolling, and always to something like negative. Always looking for something to piss myself off.
And you don't realize it's making you piss. It just definitely affects your fucking psyche, man, for sure, man.
The upshot of that is it made me understand something. It made me understand why people keep going back. What had the power of hatred?
Yeah,
hatred. I think Stella farted.
I'm sorry, man. She doesn't all the guess. I'm sorry.
It's fine. No, I'm not.
Is it bad though?
It's awful.
I'm sorry.
No,
dude.
it's okay. Don't.
She's farting some of the best humans in this kitchen.
No,
man.
I'm not. I just wanted to share it with you.
Okay, it's not me. I know that. Okay.
No, but it's okay.
Okay.
No, for a second I was like, wow, Tobes let one go, but
no,
that's canine. I know that.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. No, but I just want.
For all the listeners who listen every week, this is a good sign. It's only happened maybe 5 times to wonderful people, and now Arthur's one of them. So he's one of the.
I love it. Good job, Stella.
Fart victims.
Good job. I'm pro farting. It's a very, very helpful thing.
Me too.
I do my daughter all the time.
Okay.
I was like, Ruthie, did you fart? Yeah, I farted. Perfect. Good job, Ruth. Good job.
So you're a dad now, obviously, yeah.
Best thing that
I'm so happy for you, man.
Dude, she just did another one.
She did. Fuck. I might smell that one too. I don't know if we have to pause the podcast now.
No, keep this. Keep it in. It's fine.
I'm sorry. You're a cat dude, but obviously you like dogs.
I love all animals.
Cats and dogs, bro.
Yeah.
But you always been a cat person?
No.
Really?
I became a cat person right before I adopted.
Like you were posting cats a lot. You love cats. Your cats all the time.
It happened to me late. I like them, and I like dogs, and I like hippos and whatever, but I became a cat person right before I adopted Lysat. I got really into them, and then I found when I got him off the street, I hadn't any intention of adopting him, and all it took was one night. I woke up the next day and it's like, this cat's not going anywhere. This cat,
Yeah.
And so he's been with me for 13 plus years. And that's what it was really weird because suddenly I just started looking at them, and I was like, wow, they're not from this planet. Cats are superior.
Mm-hmm.
They're from a different world. But
you have any cat tats?
yeah, I got tattoos.
Cat
I actually
love
have. I actually have. It was in. Was this in? I think it was in 2014 or 2017. Dan Smith did one of the best tattoos I have.
Oh shit! Shout out to Dan Smith, my brother. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
He's vegan. He's a bass player, and he's a cat person.
Damn. Okay.
So it's perfect that he did this tattoo. He did Lysat's head on my body.
Awesome.
I'm wearing a red Fred Perry shirt.
And I've seen the tattoo. It's amazing.
And I'm playing Fender jazz bass.
Perfect.
But he made an improvement. He put my cat's head on my body.
Awesome.
And then I have this meow on my arm.
Oh, that's great.
I have 2 cats with bow ties and top hats here. I have a tiger here. Well, that's it. I should have more cats.
It's not like cats though.
Well, I am gonna get another cat. I'm gonna get at least 2 more cat tattoos. Tattoos.
Tattoos is a great.
I gotta get our other cat, Celery, and then I want to get the Cheshire cat, but the original one from the 1800s, the John Tenniel drawing.
Jeez, okay.
It's so cool. Anyway, but yeah, with the we're talking about being a dad, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
you were a cat dad at first, now you're a human dad.
Now I'm both.
Yeah.
Well, I always say I have 3 kids. If you look at me, I have 2 feline kids and 1 human kid.
And becoming a dad is incredible, man, dude.
Okay, so here's the
thing. You had one later than all of your friends, obviously. So when you finally became a dad, it's like, okay, I get it, you know.
Well, it was really an I get it moment because all the years hearing people say, look, you don't understand until you have a kid. And I got sick of hearing that shit, right? I'm like, totally. Okay, great. And then it happened. She was born and it was just seismic. Everything shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird because I obviously initially loved her the second I saw her, but it took a few months for me for it to sink in. And then something happened one day. I was holding her and looking at her face in my brain, and I just felt this flood of like endorphins or whatever it was. And it's oxytocin is what it is.
Yeah.
Like for the mother, it's there. And it's there. It's physical.
Totally.
But for us, it has to happen to us.
It does, man.
And when it happened, it was it. Everything changed.
Yeah, man.
Everything changed.
See, the world looks different. Everything's different, man.
It really is.
It's crazy being with your wife or girlfriend, whatever, and then you have no kids, and then that 24 hours when they have the baby and their maternal instincts kicked in, all of a sudden they're breastfeeding. You're like, what do I do? Like, it's so crazy to see that transformation. And then also like the first couple weeks, and even months, it's like, it's about them feeding the baby and taking care of it. It's like, what is your job? To do the diaper? You're kind of like, when is it my chance to connect with my child? It's interesting.
Well,
it seems so awkward at first.
It is awkward. I mean, that's the thing. And I feel bad because I feel like I stumbled out of the gate. And okay, so Caitlin, my wife, it was as if she had taken classes.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Is this what happened with you? It's like she knew what the fuck to do.
They're such badasses. Women.
They're such badasses.
I know, man.
And she's feeding the kid and up, and I'm like, man, should I just? Sometimes I would get up just because I got to do something. Let me be awake too.
Let me be exhausted with you.
Yeah, because the burden is so much on that. And the amazing thing is, you kept this little thing alive.
I know.
You did this. You did this, and it's cool because now she's almost 3, and I'm playing a bigger role now, and I just like have daddy-daughter time, and
yeah.
But just the everything that everybody told me that was a dad before me, which is everyone I know, but
yeah,
it's true. It's just your whole perspective on everything.
Get more. If you weren't emotional before, you get extremely emotional after that. I mean, cried everything, man.
I always cried, and now I just can't stop crying. I can't stop crying. My daughter comes up to me and she goes, I'll try to do her accent. She's like, Daddy, I love you. I started crying. She comes over. She goes, Daddy, are you okay? I'm like, it's okay, Ruthie. Sometimes people cry when they're happy because she thought that something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
And then she's like comforting me, giving me kisses and caressing, which is making me cry even more.
Oh, man, dude. The innocence incredible, dude.
And
now you're driving now. You're responsible adults again. Because you didn't drive most of your life living in New York. You didn't really have to drive.
I got my license 3 months ago.
First license ever? No way. In your 50s. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Dude.
And
that's real life shit. It's adulting. We have to do it, man.
Well, the thing, no, it was fear. It was fear because Caitlin, she was right. She's like, you know what? She goes, you're getting a fucking license because I can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
It can't just be me. So I was like, all right, out of fear, I'm getting the license.
Some real grown-up shit.
And then well, no, it's me. It's childish shit. So I started taking driving lessons, and I was like, and then I got.
Was it hard?
Yeah, because the thing is, when you're old, so when you're everybody should get their license before they're 21, because your prefrontal cortex hasn't developed, and that's where you make the logical decision. So that's why teenagers are more reckless. So they're less afraid when they're learning how to drive. A 55, 56-year-old man is terrified.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of lessons, and it took a lot of time behind the wheel for me to get comfortable and just chill.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people, just get your license before your 20s, man. Just do it. Even if you don't use it, just learn how to drive before then, because it was terrifying.
And you probably would have never got one if you had another kid. You'd be just fine. Just
no way.
like, yeah.
I would have been like David Attenborough's never had one. Yeah, I never would have gotten it, because I just didn't see the reason for it. And now
there's a lot of people in New York we know never got the license, because that's just the life you live out there.
Now I love it, because I don't live in the city anymore.
Yeah.
I live up in Westchester now, and I need it, and it's liberating.
It's nice driving up there, probably, right?
Oh, it's so fun.
Do you love driving now?
I love it.
Damn.
In fact, when we go somewhere, I was like, tell Caitlin, I'm going to drive, Caitlin. I'm going to drive.
She's like, who is this guy?
I'm dominating it so much that she had to pull a sneaky move the other day. we picked up my daughter from daycare, and I drove there, and we went inside and we got her, and as we're going out, I said, I have to go potty. So I took her, and kid's like, oh, okay, I'll meet you in the car. She fucking got in the car, adjusted the seat back to herself, and was sitting there waiting. I said, you snaked my driving time.
Damn.
No, but because I've been dominating it so much now. It's a joke.
But it's crazy though.
It's fun. It's really, really fun. And music.
It's
sounds
responsible
different.
adult dad shit you got to do.
I know. And music sounds different when I drive now.
What do you listen to?
Oh, okay. Well, my go-to is Motown, of course.
Okay, yeah, that's nice.
But I put on some Coltrane the other day.
Yeah.
And some Mingus and some Art Blakey. Some hard bop is really good to listen to, but Motown is.
Okay.
It's all Motown.
That's your main.
Motown and 60s soul.
Was that being played in your house when you were growing up?
Yeah, you know what's really funny? Yeah, my dad. So my mom was like, my mom. They both had really varied tastes in music.
Yeah.
But it's funny, because the more and more I got into Motown, I started realizing, man, this is all my dad. My dad loved this stuff. My mom liked it too, but my dad was like, oh shit, the Temptations. It's my dad's thing. And yeah, so it was in my house. So it is comfort food in that way.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, I appreciate it in my own way as my thing now.
Yeah.
And then, just taking it apart as a musician and listening to it. And it's just it's the most superior music.
I like how your mom bought your first guitar, but you really wanted the bass, and she said, give it like another 6 months.
Yeah.
If is that what you still want? I'll get you the bass.
And she did.
It's awesome, man. Yeah.
It was really cool too, because we didn't have money growing up.
Yeah.
But she got a job where she made some money, and she did. And I get it now that I'm a dad. Because I don't buy shit for myself anymore. I'll buy little things. But I buy something for Ruth.
Of course.
And I'll make a sacrifice of something I would want to get something for Ruth. So I completely understand my mom.
Now. Yeah. Back then, it's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to do that. Yeah.
But my mom was just like, that's what she was about. She's like, oh, this is my kid. My kid wants to play music. That's the greatest thing in the world. I'm going to get him the Fender bass.
Yeah. So. But originally you saw Paul Jones and Led Zeppelin, where that kind of inspired you. He was playing the Fender jazz bass.
Yeah. Did I talk about that last time when I met him?
No, I was doing some notes on you.
What's that?
I'm just doing some my little notes on you.
Okay, yeah. I met John Paul Jones.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I hung out with him.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Nicest guy in the world.
Damn.
Nicest.
Did you get to tell him that he inspired you?
Oh yeah. So it was
Did you punish him or no? Was it good?
I controlled myself. Okay, so this is the story was this. I was in the band. Okay, I was in the band Handsome at the time.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
And Pete Mengaday, he's like, yo, Arthur, Diamante Galas is coming to town, and John Paul Jones is, she's played bass with him. Like, yeah, he's like, do you want to go to the after party? Dude. He's gonna be there. Do you want to go? I was like, yes. Anyway, so we saw Diamante Galas with JPJ playing bass, and went to the after party, and there he was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give myself 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to go pummel this guy. I'm going to punish the fuck out of him, and then I'm going to walk away. Anyway, it turns out I just started talking to him, and I told him the stories and about Fender jazz bass and about my mom. And he's just the sweetest guy, and he's asking me questions, and he's laughing with me.
That's
and
amazing,
he's drinking, and he's like, let's toast to your mom. And as I had him smiling and laughing, I said, okay, I'm going to go. So good. And I did it. I actually, because I thought to myself, well,
you didn't drag it out. You just get to the,
and like, I don't want to leave a sour taste in my idol's mouth,
that was smart, man. That was, yeah.
And I don't shut up. So
and maybe when you were younger, it would have been different, but you was like,
but I mean, that's a big thing for me to shut myself up.
No.
You know
You're
I
an
don't
adult,
shut
and
up.
you get it though, because you've probably been punished before too, and you're like, who knows? I don't know.
No,
Hate the word punished, but people just want to talk to you, meet you, and stuff.
Yeah, I don't look at. No, I mean, well, that's it. You're a singer. More people want to talk to you. There's another benefit of being a bass player. Nobody even knows who you are.
That's what Adam says all the time in my band. Yeah,
I love it. And it's not that I don't like to talk to people. It's just that I get a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And especially, this is another thing, since I stopped drinking, I find it harder to socialize with multiple people around, whereas I used to. But no, it's cool because when it's funny because the people that do, if they want to talk to me, they're usually other bass players. So it's like, okay, yeah, we'll just punish each other about bass.
Yeah.
Because nobody,
In the BM.
nobody wants to talk to bass players, but other bass players. I understand that we're strange people.
Yeah. Drummers too. Drummers kind of strange as well. Yeah.
We'll talk to drummers and bass players. We'll talk to each other. Yeah.
You guys are the backbone of the band, though.
We are the backbone.
Keep it really going, man.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. What we do so that singers and lead guitarists can go out and have their fun and do their thing.
It's true. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I want to take it back a little bit. I mean, the first time meeting you was at the Marble Bar with Token Entry and Rollins Band. That's the first time I met Token Entry. I already loved the
87.
record. 87 was pen pals with Chunks. Ended up, we saw him on the podcast a couple weeks ago. Ended up moving to Queens, living with him for a brief stint for a couple months. Had to move out. Ended up moving into your house in Astoria with your pops and your sister Maria, where I can tell you now to your face I had a crush on when I was at that age. Shout out to Maria. And that was just us three in the house, us four in the house. That was it.
Yeah, because my grandparents, it was their house, but my grandparents were away.
Yeah.
My grandparents were in Greece.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah.
I slept on your floor in your room. I had a blanket with a hole in it. I just put my fingers through it. You got me my first real job at Myers Research Center on 40th Street. I was the inter-office coordinator. So you got my first job. You took me in, ate dinners with you guys at your house. Like, it was this magical time.
Forgot about inter-office coordinator.
That was my job title, man.
You know what's really funny?
First real job.
Okay, so remember John? You remember Johnny Stegerwald?
Yeah.
And Michelle?
Yeah.
I was texting with Michelle the other day, and we were talking about Myers and all the people that work there. That's
because
so
your sister
funny.
worked there too.
Everybody worked there. Timmy worked there.
That's right.
Everybody worked there. They gave
that's how
anybody
we got the jobs. Okay.
They gave everyone a job.
So it wasn't like what kind of job title? Because I know what my job title was, but you were calling people, right, trying to sell stuff.
It was not
telemarketing?
selling. It wasn't telemarketing. It was market research. So you were calling up companies and asking them questions. But I got lucky because Tom Jazorka liked me in the band, and so they pulled me off the phones, and then they had me doing other things. So I stopped making because that was painful.
Yeah,
that was fucking painful having to call people up and like, "Hi, this is Arthur from Myers Research Center. I'd like to take a few minutes to speak to you about sheet vinyl flooring." I mean, I'm remembering the goddamn script. 30 years later. But
how long did you work there for? It seemed like forever, but it probably wasn't.
I worked there until the end because I got a full-time job working for Tom. I was Tom's assistant. Remember Tom?
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't, Tom was this really cool guy. He was an amazing guy. He was.
And you're in between Token Entry and GB at that time, correct?
I was doing both at that time. When I first met you, I was doing both bands.
Okay.
I was doing Token Entry. No,
I don't think so, man.
No, that's right. Token Entry they didn't allow me to do GB.
So there you go.
And then it was just a few months after that I got kicked out of Token Entry, and so I was allowed to do GB again. But then once that happened, then I also got into Underdog.
That's right.
Halloween of '87.
Yeah, dude.
Underdog played at Irving. I went to the show, and Richie and Russ asked me to join the band that day, Halloween.
Damn.
Yeah, which was really cool.
Yeah, I remember going on some weekend runs with you guys. I got photos from them back then.
Token Entry?
Yeah. No, Underdog too,
Underdog.
Man. Yeah, man.
I remember meeting you, though, at that Rollins show. I remember meeting Rollins. He terrified me. He was so intense the way he talked.
Oh, yeah, dude. He was...
From even back then.
He's still intense, I think.
Do you know who else I met that night?
Who came
to that show?
Ian?
Yep.
Amanda or now just Ian?
Just Ian. I met Ian.
That's right. Him and Rollins. Okay.
He had long hair.
The curly hair. He grew his hair at that time.
He had the curly hair, and he had the little watch cap on, and he was just, and I remember just standing there, just completely awestruck. And he was, of course, and I thought to myself, yeah, of course he's here. It's Rollins.
I know. I remember. I can't believe he grew his
hair. Baltimore.
He grew his hair long that time. That's crazy.
And he had those tight curls. Remember?
Yeah, dude.
I'm seeing it right now in my mind's eye.
That's like something nobody really knows. I don't know if there's any pictures of that or anything. That was such a crazy moment seeing Ian with long hair.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's right.
That's
super curly, yeah.
Super curly. And I remember seeing it in my mind's eye. It was Baltimore, and I remember just talking to Rollins, and just he actually was telling us he liked this, and he was going like this, I like this part like this, and just he was hitting his hands like
He's
this.
intense,
It was
dude.
very intense, and that was cool. But I remember meeting you because I just remember thinking,
Who is this?
this kid is at 100 miles an hour, and you were a kid
totally
because you're 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
I'm like, this kid.
I was super hyper. Yeah.
So if I was 18, you were 16.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like this guy was 100 miles an hour. It was great though. You were great, and I remember talking about you on the way home, and Timmy just saying, "Timmy's such a good dude. I love Timmy so much." Timothy McCardle.
Yeah, man. I knew him as Chunks up until 2 weeks ago, man. You only knew friends as their nicknames and stuff. I never looked into his name.
He's
Like, okay, that makes sense.
He's a fellow Queens boy.
Yeah.
I've been to. I went to his house where he grew up when we first became friends.
Yeah.
I met him in the actual alleyway.
Alleyway Crew in Queens?
The actual alleyway.
Wow.
Walter and I took 2 trains and a bus from Astoria to get there.
Damn.
And we didn't know what to expect. And we got there. It's a fucking alley.
That's it.
It's a fucking alley behind a school.
Damn.
And
dude.
Timmy was there skating.
Just to see it. Yeah.
And we just, because we were like, oh, the Alleyway Crew, they're so cool. We had just seen Sick of It All, just played their first show, and they were talking about it. And we were at the first show when Mark McNeely was on
Wow.
bass. Yeah. And
Is that Mark Gruber?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And I remember just being enamored of him. These guys are cool. They have a crew, and they hang out in an alleyway. Walter, let's go to the alleyway.
It's like a normal just alley. Like, yeah, no graffiti,
You know how long
nothing.
it took
Was it by a school or something?
Yeah, it's behind a school.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it took Walter and me to get there from Astoria?
Were you guys bummed when you saw it? Or no? Was we let down, you think?
I was a little disappointed because I expected it to be in my
All
mind.
grimy and like scary.
Well, I expected it to be like a really narrow alleyway,
Yeah.
like you see in a film noir.
Yeah.
No, it was a nice little
Some
public
warrior
school.
shit or something.
Yeah, it was a nice little public school thing. And we hung out for I think like an hour because then we were just like, man, it takes so long to get home. We gotta go.
This is where the bad kids smoke cigarettes during school in this little alley. Like it was like some grease shit or something.
Totally.
You want it to be like some, yeah. That's really cool though. Wow.
But that's when I met Timmy Chunks, and
Damn.
he was just so nice, and we hit it off really, really well there. But
Wow.
I just remember, because those guys were so cool. I mean, like Armand and Lou and Pete, they just I don't know.
They look so angry.
They looked so angry.
They had the rat tails and shit.
Yeah, all the rat tails. Yeah.
Very Queens, which I found out later
Yeah.
was really Queens style. Yeah.
It was a very Queen style. Yeah,
Damn. Did you skate too back then, or no? Did you ever skateboard?
that's what you could call it. I was the worst.
Just cruising down the street.
I was terrible.
Okay.
I thought I was good too,
Mm-hmm.
because I learned how to ollie. And I could land an ollie maybe 1 out of every 30 times.
Ollie's legit.
I'm good,
Yeah.
and I could power slide. And then I like if the curb, you know the curbs in New York have the sometimes they have metal.
Yeah.
I could do like a little bit of grind there, but
Yeah.
I started thinking I was good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the pyramids?
Yeah, it's legendary. Timmy
Okay, so
brought me there.
so the pyramids are they're actually these truncated pyramids in this little park right outside the Con Edison plant in Astoria, and they're perfect for skating. So I thought I got good,
Yeah.
and I started skating the pyramids. I wasn't good, so I fell off the board, and I fell in my hand. I hyperextended my left thumb, and I had a show that weekend, and my thumb swelled up. But I'm freaking 18 years old.
Yeah, who
My body is great. It heals.
Yeah.
But I do remember thinking to myself, am I a musician or am I a skateboarder? I fucking suck. Actually what I ended up doing was do you remember Peter Latanzio?
I know the name.
Yeah, he lived right across from me. I gave him that board. Wow, what kind of board was that? Oh my God.
Power Prolter or?
No, I forgot what it was. It was like it's shaped like a fish, had a deep concave.
There you go. Was that a soy board?
No. I used to remember.
Neil Blender? Who fucking knows what year was it?
No, I don't remember. Hold on. Oh, it's Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna mute my phone because it's gonna be annoying otherwise.
And so before meeting Chunks, and Walter, obviously, were you ever like a long hair kind of rock and roll kid before that?
Oh hell yeah! So I'm.
I know you love Zeppelin, you liked all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm from Queens, so you got to understand what if you are a white kid in Queens and
a Greek kid, because I thought you were Italian up until a couple hours ago.
Well, yeah, but I'm a white kid.
No, I know.
In Queens.
No,
okay, so you were into rock. This is how you dressed.
Yeah.
You dressed in either just ratty ass Puma sneakers, low cut Pumas.
Acid wash jeans or no?
No, they hadn't even come out yet.
Okay.
Or you wore like Lil Abner boots or construction boots.
Hard.
Beat up jeans.
Queens is the construction boots.
A flannel shirt, long hair, and a goodie brush in your back pocket.
Wow.
That was it. And that's how I dressed. But I have to say this. That didn't last very long because I had an older cousin who was into punk, and I remember seeing the Clash and seeing the Pistols and just thinking that's so much cooler. And I liked the way that they dressed because I was I always liked clothes. I always liked clothes.
Yeah.
So
I've always been a styling guy.
I still love clothes.
Yeah.
My mom did that to me, and that's
You
cool.
always look. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Toby.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I started changing, and I got into new wave. I got really into dressing like new wave because that was happening too, and so I didn't dress like that for too long. But I got to give myself credit because if you dress like that in Queens back then, you're asking for
trouble. Yeah.
I mean, the verbal abuse happened all the time. There were times I actually got chased though. Like
really?
Oh my God, Walter too. The Guidos like chased us and like would.
Damn.
And I think about it, like, what is wrong with people? Like you want to cause me a physical harm because of what I'm wearing? What the fuck
so offended by it too. It's crazy.
I know. Like they just couldn't comprehend. Like what do you?
I know.
What's wrong with us as a species?
And
man?
obviously, what they probably thought you were, like these guys are this or that. They're weak. There's someone could fuck with me more. It's crazy to me, man.
And they were right about that. I mean, they could have beat the shit out of me because I mean, it's obvious. I'm freaking.
Yeah.
I'm 100.
You've always been a little guy too.
I'm
right?
147 pounds now.
Yeah.
I'm 6'3".
Crazy.
I was even skinnier back then. I wasn't a threat.
Yeah.
Which in retrospect, I could have used that as a weapon. Like you really. You're going to beat me up? Wouldn't you be embarrassed to say you beat me up?
Yeah, totally.
Like, you should be embarrassed. Like,
if
you beat me up, you should keep it a secret.
So you never got beat up. You got chased. You got name called. All that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I got beat up for other reasons. I mean, I got mugged and whatnot, but that's for other reasons. But yeah, they never actually like. Usually, they just because I didn't say anything back because I didn't care. So they wanted to like release their invective on me.
Security's on you.
And when I did get chased, I guess the fear made me run fast because I didn't want to get beat up.
Is this in high school? Just
high school years? Yeah, high school years.
And did you like high school?
I did. I liked it. I liked it because I found some cool people and I liked my teachers. And then by the time I was in senior year, everybody had kind of grown up. Yeah. And was cool about stuff. Yeah. And I had a good time. So I mean, it was awkward. It was harsh. I went to an all boys school for the last 2 years of high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And
you get good grades and stuff?
I did. I took AP classes.
Wow. Okay.
I graduated with 12 credits to college. Yeah. And I look back. I had a good time. I did not have a bad time in high school.
What did you want to do in college? What was your goals when you get out of school?
I wanted to go to grad school. Okay. But then music happened. Yeah. And it's good. Yeah. It's good. And the thing is, I was thinking, I could start taking classes now just for fun, just for me.
Right now.
And eventually, who knows, maybe I'll get a master's. I don't know.
Do you wish you'd done that?
No, because I love my life. I love what I've done. Yeah. If I had taken that path, I'd be at a different place. And I could still do it. That's the beautiful thing about school. You could do it at any time. No, it's true. And I can't do like the experiences that I had. Like, I mean, shit, that tour we did, Civ H2O, and sick of it all that first tour.
Oh my God, dude. That's 1994, 95, yeah.
Summer of 95.
Like a 6-week tour in Europe. Oh my God.
It was more than that. I think it was like 8. I think it was almost 8 weeks.
Wow, that was a crazy. That was an amazing tour, though.
Oh my God, I remember. Just remember like scrounging for food. Toby, do you know what?
Making phone calls at the venues, getting in trouble for calling people back home, smashing stuff, fucking Coliseum, everything going crazy.
The Coliseum, remember the Coliseum? We spent the night there. It was before 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
There was no security.
Oh, my God, you're right, dude.
We climbed. I remember Inti and them telling us, like, the cops know, don't cause too much trouble and they'll leave you alone. And we climbed the fences and watched the sunrise in the Coliseum.
You're right.
It was insane.
That was an amazing time.
That was my first night in Rome. That's what we did. And you can't do that anymore, I don't think.
Dude, that was 95?
1995.
Yeah, Moon flew out there. She was my girlfriend, and Allison came up. They both came out to visit us on that tour. That was crazy. I mean, yeah, you're right.
That was a lot of fun. I remember...
Damn, we were so bad. We had 5 songs. Yeah, I remember that.
You were so good. Everything was so good. It was so fun. Smoke. Do you remember...
We did crazy shit out there, man.
Do you remember Smokey's bunk with the hay in it?
No. Somebody put hay in his bunk?
He did.
Oh, God, dude.
He put hay in it, I think, to make him...
Oh, my God.
to make him more comfortable.
What? That was Chris' first bus tour, too, right?
And his bunk was in the front, and it was up, and the hay kept falling onto... There was a table underneath
What
his
is
bunk, and
going on,
the hay kept... Remember that bus?
Where did you get hay at a festival or something?
Yeah.
What the hell, dude?
That was the festival where we stole the tractor.
Oh, yeah, Rusty took a tractor and he hijacked it. We drove around the festival on the back of it. Oh, my God, dude, that's so right. How do you do that? Rusty's is amazing.
I just remember going up to him because I was with Armand and a bunch of us saw the tractor, and somebody said, "Doesn't Rusty know how to drive a tractor?" And let's go ask him.
Oh, my God.
And I
dude.
remember, I think Armand was the one that said, "Rusty, can you drive a tractor?" And he said, "Yeah."
Yeah, I can do that. And then 10 minutes later, Rusty's driving us around the festival in the mud with the tractor. That was amazing, dude. Those are wild shows, man. That was definitely a really incredible tour.
Really,
man.
really crazy.
But 8 weeks, that's crazy. Can't imagine doing... Dude, 8 weeks is crazy,
Oh,
bro.
my God. No hotel rooms, so no showers.
Oh, that's right. Shower at the venues and stuff, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
if we could.
So grimy, man.
It was so disgusting. I remember... My bunk broke on that tour.
It did?
Yeah, and I had to go sleep in the back lounge. And I remember Toby going to the back lounge and laying down and almost puking from the smell of all the dirty asses that had been sitting in the back lounge.
Oh, it's so gross, dude. Don't slam the gate. Why are you slamming the gate, Jack? Fool.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh yeah, that was great. It smelled so bad in the back. You're right. That's crazy, dude.
It was so... And
Can you imagine 8 weeks right now? I'd lose my mind,
I
dude.
couldn't do it.
8 days is fine right now.
8 days is pushing it.
It's pushing. You've been gone for 1 day. You already want to go home already.
At 5:30, my 5:30 this morning, my car service came. I got in the car, went a block, and I was like, I miss my daughter. Fuck, I miss my daughter really badly.
I mean, we were younger back then. It's different, but 8 weeks
yeah.
is so nuts, dude. Saw Inti out there. That was super fun.
That was a lot.
Had some festivals out there.
Yeah, we played some. I remember one of the mud festivals in Germany.
Dude.
I remember what our bus looked like, and we were pulling away from the festival. It finally stopped raining, and I remember you and I, our shoes were shot, and we had the dirt ass Mike, our driver.
Dirt ass Mike.
We had him open the door, and you and I just took our shoes and chucked them
over the
side because they were just so caked in mud.
Dude. It was just fun though back then. It was just crazy, man.
It was. Remember Dirt Ass Mike?
Yeah, I do, Dirt Ass Mike. Yeah, but like, really no responsibility, just playing music, having fun. Were you working a job back then on that tour?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Civ had gotten signed at that point.
Oh, that's right, dude.
Civ got signed.
Yeah,
so we.
That was
that was my job. That was.
Dude.
I mean, that's the whole thing. That life was great. So we were on tour. I'd come back to New York, living whatever apartment I was living in, and just having a great time.
The Civ Wait 1 Minute More was a buzzworthy video on MTV. It was so insane. That was such a crazy moment, man. I was
crazy. I remember filming the video.
I'm in the video. The video was so fun. That's you, show Arthur. Holy shit, that's you today. Wow.
Damn.
What the heck, man?
That's what people who are coordinated can do.
Yeah, that's what this guy does. That's an incredible photo, man. Now go to your room.
No,
you have to go somewhere? Yeah. Where are you going? Okay, we're gonna pause it. We're gonna break back. We'll take a photo. We'll be back, everybody. Yeah. We're gonna get into this. Back in the pod, we were talking about the Civ, the Civ tour with.
Yeah.
That was amazing. But also like just the Civ thing, like shooting that video with Marco Siega. Shout out to Marco Siega, who went on to do like Blink-182 and do TV shows.
TV shows all the time. Yeah.
He did Bad Monkey, which was a great show I watched. He did Dexter season. He did
Dexter. Yeah,
it's incredible. Like his come up is wonderful. But back then, he did the Civ video, which was a crazy day.
He called in so many favors to get Kaufman Studios that day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is that? It's a famous studio. The video was
Kaufman Astoria Studios. Yeah, that's where the Cosby Show was filmed.
That's where the Civ video was filmed.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, and I remember he had the idea, and it was going to be his it was going to be like a resume for him.
Okay.
And he had favors owed to him, and he got the studio that day, and we did it all day. I remember
It's crazy.
It was so fun, and there were so many cool people there, and
great cameos. Yeah,
great cameos.
I was in leopard thong.
You were in a leopard thong, and you know it's funny. I can say it's not because so much time has passed. It's innocuous, but Marcos, he had his whole crew. Remember all the girls he used to hang out with?
Yeah.
God, I had such a crush on those girls. They were too cool. I remember they were sitting by where I was standing in the video, and I was like, I'm in the band, and I'm still not cool enough for these girls.
Oh my God, dude.
Not that they did anything.
Yeah,
they weren't.
yeah.
They were very nice, but I just felt so inferior to Marcos's crew.
Wow, man.
Because they were so cool. They had that apartment on Reed Street. They just kind of had their own thing going on. They had their own aura about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing. Good
I worked
people.
at the studio where Bad Trip rehearsed with Biscuits, and I just booked all the bands. I remember I worked there.
The one in Jackson Heights.
Yeah.
Marcos bought that studio.
He did
eventually, I think.
Oh my God!
I remember they had a Fender Bassman amp in there, which I loved using. It was a good studio. What was the name of it again? Shit, I don't remember. But I remember it was a good studio. It was right by where Anthony's house was. Anthony Caminali. It was like 3 blocks from Anthony Caminali's house.
So when the Civ thing blew up, were you in shock about that? Were you that moment, that time? Do you remember how you feeling with this?
I remember clearly because I remember thinking, is this really going to happen?
Yeah.
And then I just remember thinking, okay, let's look at it realistically. This is as big as it's going to get. Now, if it gets bigger, whatever, we'll say it's great, whatever.
Yeah.
I was right about that though. That was as big as it was going to get, and that was fine.
Yeah.
It was weird because for a few months, you're getting into every fucking party.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to hang out with you, and I could see why people who were, and I'm not a stable person by any means, but even less stable than me can get really intoxicated by it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was fun. I mean, for a couple of months, I was getting into every cool party.
It was a couple of months. It seemed like longer, but yeah.
Yeah. I was getting into every cool party. But, well, I mean, it started before, because we had the buzz downtown. That's what I remember. We had the buzz.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and then it became kind of this mainstream thing happening. And all in all, it lasted, I don't know what it last, maybe 6-7 months of people really, really paying attention to you and getting into the cool parties. And and I mean, I'm in my 20s. Yeah, I want to go to these parties. They were fun.
Were you sober then?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, you were wilding then, yeah.
But I wasn't as bad as I got. I mean, I was going out and having fun. Like I was drinking, and I would take like psychedelics and things like that. I didn't get into, I wasn't out of control yet.
Yeah,
but,
I remember you guys played MTV Beach House. I saw a clip the other day where I sang Lou's Party wasn't there for some reason. I never even knew about that, but Charlie posted. I'm like, I even remember being there, the MTV Beach House. That was crazy.
I have a vague recollection of that.
Really? Yeah.
Wait, was I? Oh, I don't remember. I got to ask Charlie about it. I'll see him in a little while. I'll ask him about it. I don't even know. Some of it's such a blur because you know this when you're going out and you're touring hard, it kind of all blends in.
Totally.
You remember some things so specifically and with a lot of exactitude, and then others I don't know. Was that this tour? Was that tour?
Yeah.
Was that this? Was this city?
Remember the Warped Tour and all those tours you guys did and different. Was some big tours you guys did with Sid? Did you guys play with No Doubt or?
Yeah, we did. No Doubt did the coolest thing. So they blew up.
Oh yeah.
And then what they did was they got into contact with every band that played with them that was still together, that played with them before they were big, and so they got together. They got us to go out with the Vandals and them. On one leg of the tour. That was cool. It was cool because they were playing arenas. Like we played some arenas that are like we played the Maple Leaf Gardens with them. That's not around anymore. We played the Boston Gardens. That's not around anymore.
That's amazing.
But it was really it was a weird taste of. It's the same thing, kind of like I guess with Rage Against the Machine. That here's somebody and they're a rock star now.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, Zach De La Rocha was the first one.
Yeah.
But then also like Gwen. I'm like, wait, we're touring. I'm like, fuck, man. 10 months ago, Gwen, I punched somebody in the face for throwing a bottle at you on the Warped Tour.
Wow, dude.
I remember that. I remember that because it was before.
That's crazy.
Before Tragic Kingdom came out, and I'm not glorifying violence. And violence
I know.
is stupid, but I was 20-something years old, and I was watching them play, and somebody threw a glass bottle at the stage, and it could have hurt them. It could have hurt, and I just went up and I fucking punched the guy in the face.
Damn.
But that's a year later, they're and they're
massive, dude.
And it's all these young girls in the audience dressed just like her, and she would bring them up on stage. I
remember that, man.
It was really sweet. It was a fun tour because I love those guys, and I mean Tony's one of the best humans.
Yeah, he's the best, dude. Shout out to Canal,
just one of the
man.
best people ever.
Yeah,
all of them. But Tony's a bass player, so of course I'm gonna gravitate toward my kind.
Yeah. No, for sure. And then Civ toured like pretty much the whole time on that, right? It was just nonstop.
We did a lot of touring. Yeah, we were away a lot, and I remember. We would only be home for like a week and a half at a time. And I remember in June of '96, we actually had that entire month off. And I remember thinking, wow, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Between tours, a month off was just, and I was just home in New York for a month, and I misbehaved a lot.
Yeah, you weren't working there. You just full-time music then.
Full-time music, and just, going out, staying out till the clubs closed, waking up at the crack of dusk every night.
Yeah, you partying.
And then just repeat. Oh, I couldn't live like that.
Where were you living at then? Were you living in the city?
I was living, so for a while I was living on Rivington Street.
Yeah.
Between Ludlow and Essex. And then I moved to Rivington and Norfolk. Then I moved back to the Rivington, Ludlow, Essex one. For a little while I lived with Carl from Killing Time.
Oh, really?
They had a room to sublet on Grand Street.
Oh, wow.
On Grand and Forsyth.
Okay.
And that was for a short while. I was living there. And then I was living in those apartments downtown. And then I lived in Scott McGee's office for a while.
Scott McGee. Shout out to Scott McGee.
I lived in his office. Jimmy Perry and I lived in his office.
Was it up by Central Park?
Yeah, it was on Central Park South.
That's right. Right.
Yeah. It was right by Columbus Circle. And 240 Central Park South, I think was the address.
So you were living in the office?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was this massive suite. Jimmy Perry and I both lived there.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, lived there. I would crash there because I was out every night.
Shout out to Jimmy Perry. Always in the mix back then, dude.
The best.
He's doing good?
Oh, yeah, he's great. I saw him a couple months ago.
That's awesome.
He's great. He's a dad. But his kids are older now, though, too, but they're teenagers. But and then I was living for a while. And then what I ended up doing, because we were out so much, I kind of gave up an apartment. I was just stay with my sister up on 81st Street for a while. And then,
Damn.
And then so I was moving around a lot.
That was such a crazy time, man, that whole Civ thing, man.
I
remember playing the first couple shows. H2O played the first couple tri-state shows when you guys first came out.
Yeah, the Limelight.
Limelight, too, that's right. Yeah,
we played the Limelight, and we played Buffalo. No, Syracuse.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Syracuse, Cleveland. The first shows were Syracuse, Cleveland, and what was the third show we did? Detroit.
Detroit was okay.
Oh my God,
you
St.
love
Andrews.
Detroit, your favorite city. St. Andrews Hall, the best, dude.
St. Andrews was that was the very first show Civ played was St. Andrews Hall.
Okay.
And I got the shirt, and I love St. Andrews. That's right. In Greektown and Detroit, that was it. So it was Detroit, Cleveland, and Syracuse.
You know what's interesting about Civ is if you watch that video, the Gorilla Biscuits lineup of the Live in NYC with GB, Sick of It All, and Agnostic Front. And Civ's wearing creepers, and he has his hair. Has a hair grown out.
Yeah,
it was like kind of the end of GB into Walter was going to quicksand, and then the Civ was going to start. You can see like how things were changing.
Well,
because were you on that show?
No, okay. I wasn't. I had left the band. And then I did the very last show. Civ called me up in '91 and was like, "Hey, we're officially putting GB to rest."
Okay,
and we think that you should play bass for the very last show. But I have pictures from that last show, and we all have our hair grown out.
Yeah, it was just like a changing of everything. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we were all like, we're in our early 20s now. Everything's changed. I mean, it's funny because like everybody in GB on that marquee show, that last show, hair grown out.
Wow.
Yeah, and
was that the one with the minus at the show? That was the crazy one. Yeah, that was that was a crazy show, man, at the Marquee. Marquee was a great spot, though.
It was funny because what happened was I remember playing that show and getting nostalgic and thinking, I missed the scene. And then the stabbing happened, and I said, this is why I left.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's why I stopped going to shows, was the violence that started happening.
Yeah, it got really, really crazy around then.
It got ridiculous. And I remember getting jumped at a show, and I thought...
You got jumped at a show?
Yeah. And I remember thinking... Nah.
And there was nobody around that knew you from your time there to help you?
What happened was I got standing outside CB's, and somebody grabbed the shirt that I had.
Yeah.
Oh, a Super Touch shirt that they had given me.
Yeah.
And they started running down Bleecker, so I started chasing after them. And the next thing I know, there are 3 guys surrounding me. I was chasing the guy that stole my shirt.
Jeez, dude.
And they're like they had me cornered. And that moment, Gus had seen what was happening and he got everybody. And like 50 guys came running down Bleecker.
Damn.
Made a semicircle around these 3 dudes. And I remember Pete Kohler just standing there and being like, Arthur, hit him. They're not going to do anything to you. And I was like, oh my God. I remember what I said. I looked at the guy, I said, you know what? I'm not going to do this because when it was 3 against 1, I wasn't going to hit you. And now it's all my friends against you. I'm not going to do it. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. But I just remember thinking, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
I'm just done. Because every weekend it got to be that way. Where it was like all these new guys coming in thinking that it's about beating the shit out of people.
Yep.
And it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, it got scary.
It just wasn't fun. There was nothing fun about it. I mean, yeah, it was scary.
But the whole thing about punk is to escape violence and escape the realities in the world and home life and shit. It's a space for everybody to go and feel safe. It's interesting how that changed.
It suddenly felt like I was in high school dodging Guidos again.
Yeah, man.
Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want violence.
That's a bum out.
Yeah.
And you was done with it.
I was done with it. I mean, it changed so much and and I was doing different things. I was in college.
Yeah.
I was just, again, and like I said, that Marquee show, I was missing it. I thought, but then that was it. It was just a reminder, like the violence.
Yeah, why I'm not here in the first place.
And at a GB show.
I know, dude.
I mean, we don't exactly bring out the thug in most people.
Yeah.
You know?
No, yeah, that was, I remember those moments, man. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe the things we say. I can't believe neither can we. It doesn't exactly make you want to punch somebody, I hope.
Well, as we know, people did not, Soundtrack for Violence. I mean, as we know, people didn't come to shows and listen to the lyrics. They came because there was mosh parts and breakdowns and they could get away with getting in fights and not being arrested and not getting consequences, right? So, like,
that's true.
That's what it became. It's like nobody, like, talk about Walk Together, Rock Together and how many times 7 Seconds played that and they had to stop because it was a fight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody. I always love lyrics. I always love music and the message before anything.
I'm with you. I mean, but you're right. It's like how somebody could tell me they're a Republican and like the Clash.
Yeah.
Are you not fucking listening?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, I'm with you.
It's crazy.
Lyrics are way too important to me. So, like, I'm sure you've heard it too. Yeah, I don't like Screwdriver's lyrics, but the music's good. Is it? Because I don't know.
Yeah,
because I just know the lyrics suck and I don't want to hear it.
Absolutely, dude. It's so dumb when people say that, man.
And it's like you
can't find any other music that's good that doesn't have those lyrics. You know what I mean?
And it's really not that good
Songs
anyway.
Are so good. What, like, is that original? Like, you can't find something.
It's not even like, and that's the whole thing. Is like I can't get beyond the lyrics.
Yeah,
I can't get beyond the lyrics. Like, I'm not gonna. If you're gonna sing about racism or some right wing shit, I don't care how good it is. I can't listen to it. I can't. It means too much to me. I mean, the good thing is it's easy to say this because right wing people don't make good music.
Yeah.
I mean, who do they have? Kid Rock.
Oh, jeez, dude.
That's not good music.
Worst, dude.
We got the Clash.
The Clash.
They got
the Clash who you saw in 1982.
I did see the Clash in 1982.
Was that like the first kind of punk show for you?
Oh yeah, it wasn't even a punk show. I wanted to go see them in 81.
Yeah.
When they were doing the Bond residency. But you have to, okay.
Bond Street?
No, Bond. Bond
okay.
with the club.
Okay,
so Bond was a men's clothing company that was based in Times Square. And then what happened to the building was it became a club after Bond went out of business. So they did a residency there. And I'm sure if you go on YouTube, you could find the news reports. And the news reports, local news was, when we still had that, was exaggerating that there were riots and this, because it was a big thing.
Yeah.
And so my mom, who used to let me go out a lot, and she was just like, no, that's too dangerous. I was 13 or something. So I didn't go to that. But the next year they ended up opening up for The Who.
Damn.
And I was 13, 14, and I went to that at Shea Stadium. And
Shea Stadium, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this is great. The Clash. I'm going to see The Clash finally too. Dude, it was so crazy because what people forget is that show, David Johansen was the opener.
Okay. Wow.
So he's playing, I'm digging it. He did a whole Animals medley too, which I thought was really cool. And then lights go out, Clash comes on. It's general admission.
Okay.
I'm this skinny little teen. I just got picked up in a sea of people and must have been moved probably 150 feet. I'm trying to think, okay, so home plate to center field is about 400 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm saying I probably got just shoved about 150 to 200 feet up and everything condensed.
Damn.
Because everybody pushed their way up. And so I'm watching the Clash like this, just crushed.
Wow, dude.
It was cool because Cosmo Vinyl, who was one of their people, he came out I think the suit was pink, or it might have just been the lighting. Just had this cool 1940s style suit on with a broad brimmed hat. And he just came out and he said, welcome to the Casbah Club. We're going to give you a little taste of what's going on in London.
Damn.
And they just came out and
destroyed it.
Oh my God. Joe Strummer didn't stop. The leg didn't stop. The vein in his neck. Simonon just giving a clinic on how to be cool. I just remember thinking, because I love The Who, and I still do, and I knew I was going to love seeing The Who.
Yeah.
And I liked The Clash, but after that, I loved The Clash.
Yeah.
And after that, it was just
deep dive into everything else around that and Sapphire. Yeah.
And to me, they're still the best. To me, like from the first wave punk, they're still my favorite.
Was that your first live concert? Or
No.
Okay.
My first live concert was a band called the Moody Blues.
I know the Moody Blues. Yeah.
I love them still.
Wow.
I love them still. I was like 12.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. My mom took me to that, and that was a great concert because they're a great band, and I still like them.
And what about like a small venue, like your first kind of punk show? It wasn't
my cousin's
stadium.
band.
Okay.
I don't even know what the fuck the name was. What was the name of the club? Was this? So this is like the early 1980s. There were clubs everywhere in New York.
Yeah.
It was still New York was underpopulated. It was still the days of, it was underpopulated. So there were empty spaces, and you could, even like the old hardcore days, like venues were constantly opening up. Like Johnny Stiff would be renting this place out to put on a show.
Crazy.
So I saw my cousin's band. Was the club called RT Firefly? If I remember that, and that's mind blowing.
You have a pretty good memory, no?
Yeah, my cousin had a band called Rage of Angels, and I thought it was the coolest thing because they're singers from England.
Rage of Angels, that's cool.
Yeah, and I went to see them play. And I guess I must have been 12 or 13. So that was my first club show. Was to see my cousin.
What about your first show at CB's?
First show at CB's. Was it Murphy's Law? No, it wasn't. It was my first show at CB's.
And was it scary going there for the first time?
No, because I was going with Ernie and Anthony and those guys.
Fine,
so I was already, I don't remember exactly what. I can't believe that's so funny that I can't remember which bands were playing the very first time. I will tell you the first time I saw CB's illegally overpacked what it was. These guys right here, AF.
Gnostic Front. Oh, yeah, they talked about it in the book, and we talked about, was it Victim in Pain?
It was, Victim in Pain was the only album out.
Yeah, so they came back from this tour. It was 85 or something. Or he said they came back, and it was the biggest crowd at CBGB's they've ever seen. They talk about in the book. Yeah, that's it. And you were there.
I was there. And
Holy
let me just tell you,
shit,
let me tell you something. As a skinny little fucking kid, I just remember there was no place to move. Okay, I remember. Okay, where I was standing for the show.
Yeah.
So you remember how CB's was set up. So if you're standing on the stage, right, facing out, I was standing to the right. Remember how it just like right after where the speakers were, and then there were like some tables where you could stand up a little. I was up there, and you were so packed that the moment somebody moved, it was like just like a wave. You couldn't, and they were just, and they were AF, and it was fucking.
Were they scary?
What?
Was that scary back then to see them? Were they intimidating back then?
It would have been, again, but like Anthony and Ernie, these guys are my friends. They were my friends, and they introduced me to Roger. And but just I just remember seeing like just Roger. It's like there's nothing cooler.
I know.
And his name is Roger. It's a fucking great name. And now the guy's my friend after all these years, and crazy, I still feel the same way. I'm just like, you're Roger. You're Roger, and I fucking will always.
And they're still killing it.
Yeah, and the dynamic will always be you're Roger, and I respect you.
Yeah,
because they were so getting stigma. They were just so good, and just the way CB's was at that. It was really
a time.
special.
It was a magical time.
It was, and the thing about it was with that, it was like, this is my band.
Yeah.
This is my music. This is my generation now. This is my generation doing something that's ours. And it's our thing. It's underground, and it belongs to us. And that's what was so special about it, because
absolutely.
You felt the same way I did. You felt like I don't quite fit in. I'm good and I can get along with everybody and I could socialize, but I don't really quite fit in here.
Yeah.
And then I went down to that freak show reject factory and I thought, these are my people.
I know, man. It's crazy.
This is it. These are my people.
The smell and the sweat and just the griminess of it and all that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Were you ever like you ever got like, were you in the pit as a kid, like diving and dancing?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was out of my mind. That's awesome. My nose is crooked because of that.
Okay.
I have breathing problems because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
used to go off at shows.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know what I was thinking. Because I would get hit. I got knocked unconscious at CB's for a split second one time.
Damn.
It was weird. I came to on the floor and I was like, what are they thinking? I'm getting in a pit with people like Armand.
Oh yeah.
And people,
savages, dude.
like big dudes.
Big dudes, man. Scary dudes.
And they didn't go look to hurt me, but incidentally, when you get hit by a body like that and you have a body like mine.
Yeah.
But
you had played. Well, Token Entry came after that. Obviously, Token Entry played CB's. That's where I got dropped off at when I moved to New York. Was at a CB show to meet Timmy with all my bags.
Wow.
But playing there with Token Entry was some crazy shows too, right? CB's.
Yeah, the very first time I played CB's actually was impromptu. It was before I was in Token Entry. There was a benefit show, and I remember one of the bands that was supposed to play didn't show up, and CB's people was saying, some people have to go up. Somebody's got to go up and play. Yeah. And I forgot who I got together. I grabbed a guitar, and then somebody played drums, somebody played bass, and we did Johnny Be Good.
Wow.
That was the first time I ever played live, and it was at CB's. It was the weirdest thing.
That's the first time we played live?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was the weirdest thing because I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get up and do it.
That's crazy.
We probably sounded like absolute trash.
Did we did Token Entry tour a bunch? Besides like the tri-state area, did you guys go to Cali and stuff like that?
It wasn't really a tour. We called it a tour. We went out to Cali in '86, and basically we went and we hung out at our friend Pete's house. So Pete was the older brother of this girl Joanne and this guy Chris that we used to hang out with. He moved out to SF, and he said we can come out there and stay with him. And we booked a couple of shows, but we basically spent a month living at this guy's apartment at 3 Bird Street.
Okay.
3 Bird Street in the Mission, a little cul-de-sac when the Mission was the Mission.
The Mission was scary, yeah. Sketchy.
It was so cool back then.
Yeah.
And I remember falling in love with San Francisco. And then we drove down, we played a show in LA. And I didn't like LA when I first came here.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it, which is so funny because now the last, I don't know how many years, now LA is the only other place I would live in the U.S.
Wow.
Oh, I fucking love LA. I love this place.
Wow, that's awesome. Hear a New Yorker say that too, man.
Well, that's what I realized what it was. I liked at 17, 18 years old, I liked San Francisco because it felt like New York.
Yeah.
And LA was so different. And then I got older, and as I was getting older and came to LA more and more, I started thinking, just let LA be what it is. Yeah. And I ended up, I have fallen so deeply in love with LA, and then just meeting like the heart and soul, the real Angelinos are good people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
It's an amazing place with incredible, so many great cultures.
Absolutely, man.
And I about 9 years ago, Caitlin and I were very close to moving out here.
Wow.
Very, very close to moving out here. And then just some things happened and we stayed in New York.
You think you'd be in New York forever?
At least, yeah. I want to be where I am right now because of my kid.
Absolutely.
Like we decided we're going to make sacrifices to stay in this town because we want her to have stability.
Yeah.
Like this is where she's going to go to school.
Yeah.
This is where she's going to grow up. It doesn't. What I want doesn't matter anymore.
It's true.
You know this.
Yeah.
You've been living this for 21 years.
Yeah.
What it doesn't matter anymore. It matters a lot less. Let's put it like that. Yeah.
What you want comes third now. It's like you're not.
Yeah.
First choice.
Yeah.
So obviously Token Entry, Gorilla Biscuits, the Civ, GB still playing. You're a dad now, and just like all the different things you've been through. Sobriety. How long are you sober for now?
11 years.
Damn. Feeling good?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like shit because I'm old and everything hurts, but yeah, I know.
Does it hurt when you play live? You feel good live? You feel still?
No, I don't move.
It's true. You always.
I'm a bass player.
You used to jump around, didn't you, more back then?
Yeah, but I played like crap.
Okay.
The bass is a hard instrument to jump around and play.
It's true. You're grooving on
because basically what I'm doing is I'm playing a lead for 45 minutes.
That's true.
And you know what? I have a great front man, a great lead guitar player.
Yeah.
Let me do my thing.
I like that.
The funny thing is I'm happier now when I play than I ever was.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I don't want the attention. When I was young, I wanted the attention.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted girls to like me.
Yeah.
Now, you know what
I
want?
You got a girl, you're good.
Yeah. You know what I want? I want Luke to like me.
Yeah.
And I want Luke to
you
want
to play good and tight. Yeah.
That's it. And that's my joy, my great joy.
Yeah.
Because I do love music and I love playing.
Yeah. Is music your full time now again?
Well, I mean,
I know you're doing Fred Perry for a while.
Yeah, I'm not. I miss that place.
You actually working in the store, right? It was in Brooklyn. Where was it?
No, I worked in the store and then I got moved to the offices.
Okay.
So I worked in the Brooklyn store, then I worked in the Manhattan store, then I got moved to the office.
How many years were you there for?
6 years.
Wow.
good company, really good people there.
Yeah.
Kind people that really.
And how'd you end up working this? Because you love the.
I just got the job because I knew the person that was working there just hired me, and then I did really well, and I got promoted really, really quickly.
Wow.
Because it was.
Was that a first real job in a long time for you?
No, I've had so many jobs.
Yeah.
I've had so many fucking jobs.
You've always been working. Yeah, you always.
I know. That's the thing. I've always had jobs. But
was there a long time where it was just music for a couple of years?
Just a couple of years, really. It was just from like 95 to 97.
Yeah.
95 to 97. From the time that Civ got signed till the time until I left the band.
And you were on the second Civ album too, right?
I was on the second Civ album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many? Was there like a long years in between those two records? Or was it pretty quick that turnaround?
We recorded the second album in the summer of 97.
Okay.
We were doing all the writing and the pre-production all through the winter of 96 to 97. And then we recorded it in 97.
Was it 13-Day Getaway?
13-Day Getaway.
That's right. I remember that.
It was, I was going through a rough time, but my personal thing, but it was great recording that because like while we were recording, I was like, I wasn't doing anything. I was not high or anything.
Yeah.
It was like on the weekends I'd go home and get, stupid. But anyway, it was just really fun to record because it was the most professional recording I'd ever done. I had 6 tracks of a 24, 32 track board. And I had had 5 different amplifiers and 2 direct. It was just, it's the bass tones.
So way different than the first record setup and stuff. Yeah.
The bass tones on that record are so amazing.
Did the band felt pressure to make a hit song at that point? Or the label had pressure on you?
Not really. I mean, honestly, I think 13-Day Getaway is an amazing album. Charlie wrote the bulk of the music.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie wrote with Sam. Civ wrote, I think, all the lyrics except one.
Okay.
I didn't do much writing. I wrote I had a couple of songs, some parts of them are mine, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I did very little writing for it.
Were you in a dark place at that time?
I was in a very dark place, but that's my fault. But that was a light place in my life. That was a light spot because I love that record, and I love those songs, and I loved writing the bass lines for those songs. And I listen to it now, and it's so funny because I think that record was kind of ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think but the thing about it is it sounds so different from the first record. And I think that if it had been a different band, that it would have been a hit. I mean, there's some shit on there that sounds like Oasis.
Super catchy. Yeah.
It's really catchy. And the thing about that blew my mind was Civ just flexed his muscles as a lyricist on that record.
Yeah.
And and somebody who writes melodies.
Yeah.
He wrote those melodies.
And Walter wasn't part of that second one.
No. Oh, Walter did collaborate with Civ on one song.
That's cool.
But
because Walter's alt start today, basically. Yeah. Okay.
But Civ wrote the only melody that Civ didn't write on the second record is the song I Haven't Been Myself in a While. Charlie wrote the whole thing.
Okay.
He wrote the lyrics, music, and the melody, but all the lyrics and all the melodies on that second record. And I remember thinking to myself, holy shit, I did not realize. I knew Civ could sing. I always knew he could sing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Civ had this much musical talent.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was coming out with these lyrics and these melodies, and I'm just thinking, wow.
But also it's the first time Walter's not really in the full mix too, so Civ gets to shine. I'm not saying not shine, but get to do his thing.
Yeah, and in retrospect, I feel bad, but I kind of shortchanged him. I didn't think he could rise to the occasion like that. And I was really mistaken.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I listened to it recently. Those are good songs.
I know she farted on Arthur. She loves Arthur, man.
Oh, good. She feels comfortable enough to fart with me. Good to see you, buddy.
Okay, bye, Max. Love you. One of the things I want to know where the Mr. T.E.T. thing came from with me and you, and also the Kiku. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where Kiku came from. You did that, but I remember the Mr. T and E.T. thing.
I would draw it at work. I would draw these.
It was my sick mind.
Okay, E.T. and Mr. T, like you're having sex or riding a skateboard or singing or being X'd up or singing. We draw these pictures, but Arthur was a really good illustrator as well, for those listening.
Not like you.
But I had some obsession with E.T. and Mr. T, which
you loved E.T.
I loved E.T.
Okay, and
but
you would
Mr.
draw.
T, I don't know, did you?
You would draw, and I remember telling you one day, okay, draw Mr. E.T.
Okay.
Make a hybrid of it. Make a hybrid of it. And you did. And I just remember fucking dying of laughing.
I hope you still have some of those drawings. I have them somewhere. I know I used to draw all the time.
Can I actually describe some of them? Is that okay?
Sure.
I remember I said, hey,
uncensorship here.
Toby, we were in Myers. We were getting paid to do this, by the way.
Totally.
I was like, Toby, I got one. Can you draw?
What was wrong with us, man? We doing some real wild shit back then.
I was like, can you draw a dick with E.T.? The head of it is E.T.'s head.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
He's spitting out.
Dude, I have that. Dude, it was,
still have it?
I probably do. And maybe like the dick had a mohawk and chains on. I don't fucking know. Oh, so yeah, the E.T. would have a mohawk and the chains. Dude, it was some weird ass shit. We're ahead of the game with that stuff. Because now I think I saw something where I might have said that you E.T. Mr. T was a cartoon. Something since then happened them together somewhere. I swear to God, not in a sexual way.
Somebody,
but maybe that's some friends.
Though.
I know.
Ours was sexual. Wait a minute, that's fucked up. We should have copyrighted Mr. E.T.
It's
but
you could Google it now for listeners. There's some shit out there where E.T. and Mr. T are doing something. They're boys. They're hanging out. They're not doing what we were doing. Like they were like having sex. They were doing all kinds of weird. We did that at work.
Let me ask you a question. Do you still draw?
I would draw when Max was young. I would draw E.T. for Max. Now or Mr. T. But after Max saw the movie E.T. for the first time, I showed him my drawings. I started drawing in the house, getting more inspired, but not anything sexual. No Mr. T.
But there was no Mr. T, and that's
but my
why...
wife and my son think I'm a good drawer. Still, yeah, I can draw.
All right, but that okay. So you just something is a little clearer to me now. So you used to draw E.T. for, but not Mr. E.T., and that's why the kid that's why he turned out to be a fine young man that I just saw. So he's not completely damaged.
No, I don't know. You're the one that's damaged. You got me to do the Mr. E.T. shit. I don't know where that came from. But today I have a picture that you drew me. I'm breaking out, ladies and gentlemen. I have a picture in my hand to hang out. It's Toby Raymond Morse, April 29th, 1989, 9:20 a.m. Myers Research. Kiku by Arthur Smilios. A poor representation by the not so artistically inclined Arthur Christian Smilios. Look at that.
What the fuck?
It's in I put it on my photo album to surprise Arthur. This is an archive from 1989, dude.
I remember.
Dude.
Okay, so you don't want to know something? I remember.
I'm posting this shit when the pod comes out. This is sick.
I remember drawing this. All right, so I wasn't the worst artist.
Nah, dude.
Holy shit.
Is it crazy to have that?
You know what's really funny? Look at how few tattoos you have. What does your shirt say?
I don't know.
My vision's shot. I don't
Let me
know.
see. I'll read it. How cool is it to still have that, dude? It's pretty crazy.
I know where you were sitting. I know exactly where you were sitting when you did this. You were sitting right at that desk with that, and there's that little inbox file.
How cool is that, bro?
Holy shit.
I have this saved in my photo album. I had to find it for you today. I'm like, this is crazy, bro.
All right, you're going to have to let me take a picture of this thing, too. Holy fucking shit. This is 35 years ago.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
So you want to hear something that's really freaky? This is what I do.
I'm going to tell you my shirt. Hang on. So my shirt says, what the fuck does that shirt say? Oh, it says positive. Dude, it says positive something on there, man. Holy crap. That's so cool. Yeah, I have like 2 tattoos. Yeah, it's crazy. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
So that's 35 years ago.
It's bananas.
The way that I put it in perspective is 35 years before that was 1954.
Damn, dude. That's crazy, dude. That's pretty cool, man.
We had Start Today didn't even come out. We had just finished recording Start Today.
Oh, that's right. It was 89. No. Start Today came out 88, didn't it?
89.
Oh, wow.
We recorded Start Today in the winter of 1989.
Damn, dude.
In the beginning, I remember because we did the Super Bowl at the Ritz.
Yeah.
And we came straight from the studio, and I was wearing pajama pants.
Sick.
And it was so good job, Stella.
I'm sorry, Arthur.
No, why are you sorry? I keep saying dogs fart. That's what they do.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, wow.
My dog is violating all my guests by just shitting on them, dude.
But the thing is that
I'm kicking her out of here, maybe.
Her ass is but the thing is that it's just that her ass is vectored right at me.
I know. I'm gonna kick you out of this.
No, it's fine. She's
fine.
You
shit on my guests, man. Okay, go ahead.
So, but I remember we went straight from the studio, and Chris Williamson was screaming at us because we were late.
Okay.
But I remember walking to the stage, like trying to get backstage, and it was crowded, and everyone knew we were recording, and they're like, "Oh, did you come from the studio? Did you come from the studio? You're recording the album." There was a buzz about Start Today. There was a buzz about the album. Yeah, and
were you playing some of those songs live before Start Today?
Yeah. Wait, did we? Yes, I think we did. I think we played at that show. I think at that show we must have.
Okay.
You know which song we definitely didn't play live?
What?
New Direction, because it was the last one Walter wrote.
Damn. That's a banger too. That's an opener.
You know what's funny I thought the record was finished. We thought we were done.
It always happens.
And then Walter's like, hey, I have one more song. I said, really? One more song. We went in and that it was New Direction.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. Did you play on Way to the World or no?
Way to the World.
Yeah. Token Entry's third album?
No.
Okay.
I only played on the first album.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought you played in Jaybird.
I didn't play on Jaybird.
Wow, okay.
I only played on Beneath the Streets.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's a great record, though.
Which one? Beneath the Streets?
Yeah, just the guitar tones and the leads and how it was so original, I thought, with the guitars and
it was
the tones.
Funny, though, because
dark and...
I listened to it, it's part of it recently, and the recording was terrible.
But the leads and stuff were just very rock. I don't know, something about it.
Mick is a great... I played a couple of the leads on it because I played guitar in that, but Mick was a great guitar player. Yeah. Mick was an excellent guitar player. He really was a good guitar player.
But I'm saying just for the sound back then, it wasn't...
It was original. There was some cool stuff. Yeah. Like they wrote some good songs. I wrote a couple of things on there, but they wrote... most of it was written before I joined the band. But there was some cool stuff. Like that song Psycho was really great.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Antidote, Ernie wrote that. That was great.
Bro.
Tragic Magic.
Yeah.
What were some of the other ones? There was some really good songs on there.
Illusion? No, I forgot the name. There was so many good ones on there. It was such a good time. Hi, Mama.
What's up, lady?
Yeah, there was so many amazing songs. It was such a great record.
It was a good record. It was its own thing. The thing Token Entry at that point though was kind of still just trying to. It was transitioning to find its way. That we're pulled in so many different directions.
Yeah.
But I still think that record was really good.
Yeah, Jaybird was a little different, obviously. Then we got to Way of the World, which is more a talk with chunks of everything was funky back at that point.
Yeah.
Chili Peppers and Heads Up and all these bands, and it was the timing of that record. What was going on there, you know?
Yeah. It's oh my god, I forgot about all that.
Yeah,
I forgot.
It was super funky and rappy and shit like that.
Oh my god!
But I love that Timmy Chunks rocked knee pads on stage. I thought that was super cool. I know Jimmy G did that as well, but like Timmy was a skater, so he was rocking the pads.
Yeah.
Underdog were skaters too, but they had skate songs as well. But
yeah,
Token Entries really had that. I don't know. It was probably my attraction to Token Entry because it was New York hardcore and I was a skater and it was something different, you know? Because nobody was really talking about that back then, you know? The skating stuff.
Yeah. There were skates, not really in New York. There were a couple of, like the Gilligan's Revenge, which became
that's
Token
right.
Entry.
Yeah,
they were a skate band. They had Skateboard Insanity.
That's right.
Underdog had it from the Numbskulls too. And the Numbskulls,
totally.
And then Underdog, they had the Frontside Grind.
Frontside Grind, yes.
Great song.
I think Underdog's another underrated New York hardcore band too. I mean,
I agree.
Obviously, I love. Hey Joe, edit this out of the podcast. My wife just came to interrupt this freaking. Lucky it's Arthur, my bud, because otherwise, if there's somebody I didn't know, I'd be embarrassed. Because Max came in there. When Stella farted on Arthur like fucking 4 times today. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's dogs. They fart.
Yeah, Underdog's underrated too. I mean, I love Vanishing Point. Obviously, the original stuff, the demo, all that stuff. It's such a great band, dude.
Yeah, and I loved Underdog too, and I loved Richie's really smart lyrics.
Yeah,
man. Really, really good lyrics.
Yeah. It's just a great band. I mean, the production on Vanishing Point, I like them live better than the production, obviously.
I don't understand what happened. It was it's so tinny.
Yeah.
There's just no bottom end to it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what happened.
It's very interesting. Are there some songs that you play with GB that you love playing all the songs, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
I love I in fact, it's funny because when we were doing set lists, I'm like, can we just play everything? There isn't that much.
Yeah.
It's like, I like every song. There isn't a song that I don't like to play.
Yeah. Were you a Moondog?
No. I wasn't in Moondog.
Okay, on the internet it says you're in Moondog.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of wish.
But handsome for sure.
I was in Handsome for a little while, yeah.
So Token Entry, Handsome, Gorilla Biscuits, Civ. What are some other ones? Did I miss any other ones?
I played in Warzone for a little while.
Oh, you did? That's right.
Underdog, did we say?
Yeah, Underdog, yeah. Warzone when?
87.
Well, no trash. Don't touch the trash, please. We'll go to the trash. 87?
87.
And
I played rhythm guitar. Walter played bass, and Brad played lead.
Wow. I wonder if I saw you with Warzone 87, maybe if you guys were in DC or something. Did you go to DC then?
I don't think I played with DC in that.
Yeah. Was it fun playing Warzone?
It was cool. It was exciting because it was, it was Ray B's. Wow.
I know.
It's like I'm all of a sudden my stock, my cool stock is up because like this guy's, he's legit.
Yeah.
Ray B's was one of the legit like elder statesmen. Like
people loved him, and he was so loved.
Yeah, and he was an original guy. Like so like we
Drummer
were
AF.
Yeah, we were the younger guys, and then there was the top tier people that were Harley, Roger, Jimmy, Ray B's. These were the top tier guys.
Top tier.
You know, they were the originals, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're second generation. So suddenly here's Walter and Luke and me, and we're in a band with Ray B. So we're just all right.
Yeah.
We're really much more legit now.
Totally get the respect from the elders and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it intimidating playing shows with them or being around them?
No, because Ray made you feel so comfortable. He was so sweet. He was so good to the young kids. Like he was so nurturing.
Yeah.
And just never made you feel. I felt. Whereas like when I first went to the first Warzone rehearsal, I felt really intimidated going there.
Yeah.
And then until like, wait, this is Ray, and look at how cool he is, and he's like a dad, and he's taking care of you. So I never felt anything but just great.
Yeah. The first rehearsal was a little nerve-wracking.
What's that?
The first rehearsal was
it was a little nerve-wracking. It was at Tukasa Studios, I remember, on Avenue B. And I just remember, I didn't know what to expect, because to me, like, Warzone, these guys are like, they live in squats. These are, these guys are like, Brad is a runaway, you know? And because in the end, like, okay, look, I was, working class kid, but from Queens. I was never homeless. I never had to worry. There was always a roof over my head. There was always a meal in my stomach.
Yeah. How long did you live at home till?
I moved out in,
because I was with you when I was like 18 or 19 to live there. Yeah.
I was going to say 21 is when I first moved out.
Okay.
I stayed for a while.
But then you came back later?
Like 100,000 times. Kept going and coming. Staying for like, I got to stay here for a little while. A little while turned into a couple of years. And
you can always go back home. That's always a good thing.
Well, I can't do that anymore. That family sold that house a few years,
they did?
Years
Wow.
ago. Yeah, they had to sell it. It's kind of depressing because I wish I could have taken it over with my. Now I have a family. And
because they own that shit. Wow.
Yeah, that's whatever. That's what happens when cities gentrify and you can't. The people that were there can't afford to live there anymore.
So you were going back when you were sober and you weren't sober. Just all kinds throughout your life. Always.
All times throughout my life. Yeah. It was always a play. It was a safety net.
Was there like a rock bottom point for you where you wanted to get sober?
There are a couple of them.
Or they close calls with overdose and stuff like that? Or
I overdosed back in the 90s. Yeah, I overdosed on dope.
Wow.
Yeah, that's...
Wow.
Yeah, you just wake up and
were you not talking to anybody at that time? Like you out of touch with all your friends and stuff?
Yeah, I had my own whole junk crew.
Yeah.
Like that's what happens. You that's who you stay with.
Knocking people around you.
And that changed with I just was like
were you just sticking by the hardcore scene, the violence, and then you found your own friends? You kind of like you weren't in a band anymore. You kind of just drifted into this.
No, what happened? Yeah, well,
dark world.
The violence started happening with the hardcore scene, and I was just getting over it. And I was, I always liked different kinds of music, and I was getting more interested in playing other kinds of music.
Yeah.
And then I went back, college. I wanted to go back full time. I did that. And that's the life I was living, and I was having a great time in college. Like I was living, I loved it. I was doing cool things. I was going out a lot, going to clubs, doing psychedelics and ecstasy.
You're living your life, experiencing things. Yeah.
And then I started playing music again because I missed it. So that's when I started doing Handsome.
Oh yeah.
And then
those guys kind of partied too, right?
Yeah, but they kind of kept it. They kept it.
Okay.
Because Petey Hines was sober.
Yeah.
And Pete Mengaday he kept it on the level.
That's cool.
And we were looking for a singer at the time, but and we had a couple when I was there. But so then Walter had the idea for Civ, which happened at the same time.
Damn.
So yeah, I mean, by then I was finishing college. So I finished college, and then music just happened, and then
came back in your life.
Then Civ, all of a sudden, we did the video, and then all of a sudden, like record labels are calling up
for
them to write an album.
Oh wait, so the single came first with no other record, no music?
Right.
Yeah, there's no album. It was just a single first.
Yeah, Walter wrote the single.
That's fucking crazy.
Because it was like, hey man, I think I just want to do something with Civ again. I think Civ, the person, needs to.
Yeah.
And so he wrote the 2 songs.
Dude.
And then Marcos did the video. Because if you remember, the video came out we recorded the video in like September or October of 94.
Okay.
It was still warm out. It was the autumn of 94.
Damn, okay.
And so it's 30 years now. And then because of Marcos's video, like word started going around. And so Scott McGee said, make this a real band. And I'm going to take it on. And then people started making offers. London Records.
Damn.
Everybody. And then
like a bidding war kind of.
It was. And then Atlantic was what we went with, and they were just like, get a fucking record written. And Dude, I remember Walter was on tour with Quicksand that spring. And while he was on tour, I was subletting his apartment. He was living on Leroy Street with Charlie.
Yeah.
So I subletted his room while he was on that tour. So I was with Charlie, and he would send these little dats. He would write the song on the Quicksand tour bus, sing it into this little thing, and FedEx it each day.
Wow.
One or two songs each day. He wrote that.
That's
he wrote
incredible.
most of that album on the Quicksand tour bus when they were touring just before Manic Compression hadn't come, or was just coming out. Because the whole joke was that Walter spent that year basically in Don Fury's studio, recording. He said he became like a slee stack from being in the dark because he was doing Manic Compression and then went right on to doing Set Your Goals.
Crazy, man.
So that's how that happened, and it was really fun. And then I kind of got New York, and at that time hard drugs became a big thing.
Okay. Like beyond cocaine. Like
And I got really interested. I was curious. It was everywhere. And like so many people I admired did it. And I was like, oh, fuck it. I got to try it.
Fuck. And once you start, it's just like,
Dude, right away, I'm like, this is not going to be good. Because I remember the person I did it with, I said, oh, this is bad. And he's
damn.
And he goes, you don't like it? I said, no, that's the problem. He's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I said, no, that's the problem. I really like this.
Were you working a job at that point and being high?
No, I was in the band.
Okay.
I was in the band. That was it. And that's, and it was good because we were still touring. So I wasn't home enough to start to get a habit.
But they didn't know what was going on with you, you think?
In the beginning, no, because it wasn't a habit.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was just like, I'm doing it here. I'm doing it there.
Yeah.
I'm doing it on the weekends when I go out at night. And
did you mainline it, whatever?
Not in the beginning.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's like it tricks you into thinking that it's cheap because I'd buy a dime bag and I would like in the very beginning because it was good stuff too. I would sniff like half of it and I'd be high all night.
Damn, up all night.
Not up because it's a downer, but you just feel good and you feel great but your body builds up a tolerance to it really, really quickly.
Totally,
really quickly. And then, so I couldn't get a habit for months and months because we were always away. And then we came home and that June that we were home for a month and I went fucking nuts. I was living on Norfolk and with my buddy on Norfolk and Rivington then. And I was just like, we went
crazy. Fucking
Looney Tunes every night doing it. And that's when I got it. That's when I was first introduced to what a withdrawal is.
Holy shit.
And I couldn't believe how fucking bad it was. I had read Burroughs. I had read where he describes it. And he does come close to it, but nothing can describe how terrible it feels.
Damn. It's like a worse come down from cocaine. I heard cocaine's heavy.
Well, the thing is like, okay, so there's a lot of physical pain. There's absolutely you don't have any energy. But then there's the complete despondency, the depression.
Yeah.
And then to make it matters worse, you can't even sleep.
Damn.
You can't sleep. There's no escape from it. It's at least 3 days of solid hell.
Sounds brutal, man.
It's so bad. And the worst part about it is like, wow, I did this to myself. I did this.
On purpose, yeah.
Like, and then that's the thing you say, okay, well, I didn't know. But you'd think a smart person would say, okay, I'm never going to let that happen again.
Yeah. You're a smart person though.
Not really.
Oh no, I think you're smart. How long are you on that for?
Fuck. I guess on and off for it's hard to say because I did it hardcore for like just a year or two.
Yeah.
And then I got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm good. And then I would dabble a little bit. Okay. And so, but it was in my life for
a couple years.
Total of about 4 or 5 years.
Wow, yeah, that's a long time. Yeah,
but the thing is, it wasn't hard. It wasn't like a big. It was only like a year and a half or 2 years where it was really an intense thing, and then it was it was just like oh, somebody has it. How the fuck I did that, I don't know. But
yeah, it's crazy, man.
But then you get to a point where you say, look, I'm going to go one way or another. And I know which way. If I continue down this path, there are 3 possible endings. And I don't like any of them.
Yeah, man.
So let's just do this.
Well, you went down and out like robbing shit and stealing
No.
stuff and fucking...
I just sold so many things that I had. I sold so many things.
Like basses and stuff like that. Wow.
Basses and guitars and things, yeah.
Records.
Yeah, anything you can think of.
Okay,
But,
wow.
yeah, I sold things.
Did your pops know?
Oh yeah, he knew. Eventually, he knew because
Or how about your sister?
Yeah, they all knew. But my dad knew, especially because when my dad was a teenager, he had the same problem.
Okay.
So he was just like, I fucking know what you're doing.
Damn, dude.
I know exactly what the fuck you're doing. Look at me. And he knew what pin eyes are.
Yeah.
He was good though. He helped me, and we talked about, and that was, it's funny because that kind of was a period, I think it was like the first foundations of me getting my adult relationship with my old man.
That's nice.
And
You're bonding through that stuff. Yeah.
and then it became bonding through positive things. And then
Yeah.
once I got that thing out of my life, and I just realized, well, because I remember dealing with my dad on a different level. I didn't feel the shame because he didn't make me feel shame.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of suddenly, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
And his thing was like, you're my kid. I love you. You're my son. And I went through this.
Yeah.
And, so he was the one person that could understand.
Yeah.
Because he lived it.
For sure.
But,
And I'm sure Maria knew she was worried about
Maria was
you.
heartbroken. Maria was just,
Yeah.
that's my sister. Maria was
I
crushed.
know.
Maria was crushed with it. And she didn't understand it the way my father did because she never did it.
Totally.
Plus the other thing, my poor sister, there were a lot of people around her that were just doing it, that she cared about, and it was enough, like poor Maria.
Let alone her brother doing it. Yeah.
And, but, it's just, you got to just, I don't know. Everybody has a different low point and a different thing that makes them stop.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky. I'm lucky because
a lot of people don't make it through that stuff, especially.
And a lot of people, the shit that how low they get was a lot lower than I got.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do things that did permanent damage to me or to other people.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So
can imagine now with fentanyl and all that stuff. It's gnarly right now, man. It's just crazy, dude.
And the thing about it is, look, again, I'm a Marxist. I'm going to look at this through those eyes too. Why are these things appealing?
Mm.
Why are they appealing? Well, when you have a system that's based on exploitation and brutality, there are a lot of casualties.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that are left as wreckage. And that's why this is appealing. That's one of the reasons this is appealing, because it's a painkiller.
Yeah.
And no, of course, it's no matter what, we could live in a utopia. People are going to want to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
But why is it an epidemic? Why is it at an epidemic proportion? Well, once again, we're not going to be able to solve it, because the last thing Americans will ever do is admit that we're not flawless.
Yeah, that's true.
Americans cannot come to terms. As a country, we can't come to terms with anything. We still can't even face the genocide and the racism that was the foundation of this country. People saying post-racial world. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's really easy for you to say it's post-racial when you're a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, America's not, America, you can't solve a problem unless you identify the problem. And America refuses to ever identify any of the things that we do or we've done. We can't do a truth and reconciliation about the genocide of the indigenous people here, or about what really that just because in 1865 slavery officially ended, that the whole apparatus of it has not ended still.
True.
Still.
Yeah.
And that our economy is rapacious and it's a cancer, and it chews people up and spits them out, and that there's the great equality, that we're the most class stratified society. And that the working class masses are taking a beating from the few parasites that are rich.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, shit. I wonder why there's a fucking opioid epidemic in this country.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You take
It's true.
you take
A lot of people in
everybody.
pain, man.
Yeah, you have your neoliberal economics, and you take somebody's job, factory job, because what? Oh, because $1 billion isn't enough. So now you don't want to pay a decent wage to somebody here, a union worker. So you're going to take that job, you're going to shut that factory down, and you're going to go exploit a worker in another country that doesn't have labor law protections because $1 billion isn't enough. You need $1.5 billion.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
and then you leave wreckage behind, and then what happens to those people? Yeah, of course you're gonna look at ways to make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
And and that's when I realized my privilege and my fortune that I got out of it, because I had a support system of family and good friends.
Yeah.
And yes, some opportunities too that aren't available to like somebody, let's say in a Rust Belt state,
Mm-hmm.
or somebody who just didn't have his grandparents' house to fall back on like I did.
Yeah.
That house was that we talked about before. That was my saving grace when I hit bottom and had to go and rebuild myself.
Yeah.
Not everybody had that, and
Safe place for you, man.
and a loving family to be there and be like, okay, shithead, okay,
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We got you.
So anyway, I don't know how I got on this tangent.
No, but that's true though, man. You always had a loving support system. You're always supportive of your music, everything you've done, your family.
Yeah, and that's the thing I realized. Like in my years and years of therapy, not years, but I was thinking about my family, and I said, man, everybody's parents make mistakes because we're people.
Yeah.
But the one thing that really hit me, two things. No matter what happened, I never, ever, ever doubted for a second that my mother and my father loved me.
Yeah.
That means everything.
Beautiful. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Because I'm just, and you know what, it humbles me too, because I think, you know what, I need to shut up and stop complaining about my life. There are
Mhm.
people that have genuine problems.
Yeah.
Now, I'll complain about the state of the world and want to change it because that's different, because that affects all of us.
Yeah.
But if you ever hear me start complaining about my life, Toby, can you just smack me?
Yeah.
Because because there are people with real serious shit
Yeah. For
and
sure.
issues that started from childhood because they felt like their parents didn't love them.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's the most tragic thing in the world. And especially now as a father,
Absolutely.
the thing that'll make me cry more than anything and make me want to just put my head through a wall is the idea of any child feeling unloved.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of a depraved motherfucker would, I don't know, split children up from their families?
Yeah, man.
Or, I don't know, drop 2,000-pound bombs on little kids, or snipe little kids in the head. What kind of a depraved piece of shit would do that?
Yeah. It's true, man.
And anyway, but that's I never felt unloved, and I feel bad for anybody I know that's just like, yeah, I felt like my parents didn't love me. That's tragic.
So for you, your experimentation with drugs, you just wanted to try it. It wasn't like, it wasn't because some people come like they're trying to escape the reality or escape pain or childhood. You're like, no, I just want to try it.
Yeah, but I'm sure there was a measure of that.
I mean, you've been in therapy, obviously, talking
yeah,
about
I'm
it.
sure there was a measure of that too, of unresolved things that I had.
Yeah. Are you still in therapy now?
Yeah. And it's finally working. I found this really great therapist,
Awesome,
and I don't
man.
lie to her. That was the problem. I realized for years, like, the therapy wasn't working because I was like too embarrassed to say the bad things.
Damn.
And it doesn't work that
You
way.
think they knew you were lying in therapy?
Possibly.
Yeah.
But I know this one's working.
So you've been through a lot of therapists.
That many, just a few, but this one's
Yeah.
good because I'm approaching her with honesty, and she's really good, and she lets I don't shut up, and she uses that, so she kind of occasionally will just do this to me and let me find my way to something.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I liked getting intoxicated because there was definitely something missing in me. But I think a lot of it was just my own, I felt I was very insecure.
Yeah.
I was always insecure.
Yeah. You were saying that too, like finding your place even in the scene or being noticed or all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always felt
Not comfortable in your skin, kind of.
and I felt less than. I felt like, okay, so I'm not as good looking as this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not as funny as Walter. I mean, Walter and I were inseparable for a while, so much so that people used to mistake us for the same person.
Yeah.
But I still felt like he's so funny.
Yeah.
And
Super insecure about it.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not as funny as Walter. Oh my God, now the fucking guy, I'm not as good a songwriter as Walter.
Super harsh critic of yourself.
And that's not a fair thing to do to ourselves.
It's not,
we
man.
can't do that to ourselves. We can't. And I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm finally kind of becoming comfortable in what I am after
I feel
all
like
this
you're in a
time.
good place now.
Yeah, I have a kid.
Yeah.
I love my wife. I love my cats.
I mean, you had a purpose before that.
Yeah.
But now you feel like it's
a different purpose now.
I know, man. It's crazy.
It's very different. It's you're learning. I'm finally learning not to be as selfish as I was. You know, it started with getting married, and believe me, I still have a lot of work to do to be a better partner to my wife.
Yeah.
Than I am. I'm trying, but I'm an idiot and I'm making mistakes.
Yeah, we're not perfect. Yeah.
Right, but I have her. I have my 2 cats. I have my daughter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's it. I have my daughter. She's my everything. She's my delight. She's everything.
And then you want to be here and be healthy, so you can be here as long as possible with them as well.
Yeah. I want to stick around a long time.
Step up your own health. Yeah.
I want to be around long enough to where at least, you know, I want to get to this. Like now, she thinks I'm the greatest thing in the world. I want to I want to be around for when she's embarrassed of me, and then I want to still be around for when she gets past being embarrassed of me and loves me again as her weird old dad.
Those are all great chapters, man. All that shit's great chapters, and
it's
being
the
a
best.
dad.
It's every day waking up, and every day I wake up and say, I can't wait till she wakes up and I can see her.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It goes by fast too, man. It's crazy how fast it goes.
I can't believe it's going to be 3 years and 4 days.
That's what I'm saying. Do you feel like time's going by faster because we're older? I feel like this year flew by. I know young kids aren't seeing it because they have no responsibilities maybe, but since we do, we're like, is it faster for them or is...
I think this is why. I think I figured out why it seems like time goes by more faster. Okay, so think of it like this. When you're 20 years old,
yeah,
a year is 1/20th of your life, right?
Okay.
That's a bigger percentage. You're 50 years old, the year is 1/50th. It's a smaller percentage. So it is less time.
Okay.
Relative to the amount of time that you've been here, a year is a shorter period of time than it was when you were 20. For a kid, it's the opposite. And that's why when we say, oh my God, as you get older, the years go by faster and faster. Well, you know, time in itself doesn't change. It's our perception of it. And so again, so a year is less time for you and me than it was 30 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how I'm.
It's a great point, man. Actually, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's just how it feels to me, and I think that goes away towards explaining why time does seem like it's speeding up for me. Because it is terrifying.
I don't like it, man. Yeah, because it's not to get morbid, but we know how old we are now.
Yeah.
We know like what the likelihood of us living is to a certain age. Like, oh my God, is it this many? You can almost see the years you left. It's crazy to think about. Dude.
Well, it's really weird to think.
I don't like it, man.
There's definitely more in my rearview mirror than there is ahead of me. Because I'm not going to live to be 112.
I know.
I mean, realistically,
what would you like to live to? Like, what age you think?
It's not about a number. It's like I don't ever want to be infirm. And I don't want to have dementia. I saw my grandmother. I saw what dementia did to her. And I actually said to my wife, I'm like, Caitlin, if this happens, the moment I start exhibiting, you have to promise me. You're going to take me. We're going to figure it out. And you're going to give me just a big shot of Dilaudid and let me get really happy for about 30 seconds. And then that's it. That's it.
You're out. Yeah.
I'm out. I can't. Just watching what it did to my grandmother, this amazing, brilliant, dignified woman.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I know. Do you want to have a funeral or be cremated, do you think?
I was thinking of doing a forensic. So the most eco-friendly way.
Tell me.
Is a forensic
forest. Donate your body? Oh, no.
Yeah, forensic forest.
Okay.
So what you do is they take your corpse and they drop it and they have a forest. This is scientists that do this. They have
what?
And they just let it rot. And they study it. And they study how a human body decomposes. So it helps.
There's a place that has this, you can do that?
Yeah. So what it helps is it helps them identify like bodies that are found a long time and it can help solve murders and things like
What?
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but Caitlin actually told me about it.
Where this place is and there's no animals around eating
I'm sure there are. Like so
it's just in the wild,
it's in the wild, I think. Yeah. I mean I'm kind of talking
about a bunch of naked bodies there and shit.
Well, I don't know if they leave. I guess yeah. I mean, who cares?
I know, it's just interesting.
I'm dead. I won't be embarrassed.
To fly over something like that and see a bunch of bodies piled up.
Bunch of wieners around.
Dude,
I mean,
that's kind of interesting.
Honestly, whatever somebody does with me, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the afterlife. I don't believe in, this is it. This is the here and now. So whatever happens to this sack of freaking bones and flesh.
Yeah.
I don't really care afterward. It's like, oh, my body's going to be defiled. What the fuck do I care?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's not me anymore.
I know.
It's not me. The me is up here. The me is like the life.
I want there to be some sort of afterlife where I can keep an eye on my son.
Yeah, I'd like that too.
I want that too. Like, I don't know what's going to, I believe there's something out there. I don't know, man.
I mean, that's okay. My feeling is yeah, I want that. I want all the fairy tales, the good parts, not the hell
good parts. I'm not saying there's a heaven. I'm just saying like be spiritually be part of our kids' lives forever.
I hope so. I hope I'm wrong. But I mean, my feeling is that what I've thought about, and my belief right now is that it's not. And Occam's razor. It's like this is what we are. This is the here and the now. And I really hope I'm wrong. I hope that I die and I'm like, oh shit, look at this. There's something else. This is
you with
kind of
your
fun.
dad. We're both with our dads and all that shit.
But I know. I mean, realistically,
you were never a religious person, right?
I was.
Up until what age?
I don't know. It started eroding more and more.
Catholic?
No, Eastern Orthodox.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Not as bad. Like, fuck. One of the differences is the priests in my church don't do as much diddling of children. And I mean, they're all a scam. Every one of it, it's a cult and it's a scam, and it's the longest running scam. Religion is the longest running scam with the highest body count and the most poisonous effect on.
A lot of the wars are caused by that as well.
Well, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always the Catholic Church, for example, has been an enemy to every democratic movement. Has been an enemy to every movement against royalty, nobility. They were friends to the Nazis, so that kind of says something to you too. But I mean, look, I was like, I started really realizing, I started having these feelings where I'm just thinking, all right, you like this ritual, it's part of the tradition. This is nonsense.
How old were you when you realized that?
Oh God, I don't know.
Like you going to church as a kid and stuff?
Yeah, I did. Not very often, but like Easter and Christmas. But my grandmother was very religious, and my family believed in things. Weren't religious in terms of going to church, but we believed in the Christian myth. You know? And I mean, I just started. I had my feelings, but I didn't think much of it until I really started becoming hyper political and hyper conscious of the damage that Christianity did to me. That's when I really started to get angry. I started to realize that it's child abuse. Like when I was a little boy, there's no reason I ever should have been afraid of something like hell. So when people talk about child abuse, I'm not talking. There is obviously physical, but emotional abuse of a child is teaching them the Bible. The Bible is the single most revolting book that's ever been written, because it's had such a far-reaching influence, and most people, I've read it. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's a book that it's promotes racism, promotes genocide, promotes infanticide, promotes rape, promotes torture. It's all in there. That's what makes me laugh with all the Republicans that are like, we want to ban books that are sexually explicit. Okay, you need to ban the Bible. You know that. You know about there's rape all over the Bible. There's child molestation. There is torture. There's racism. There's genocide. Everything you're saying you don't like is in that piece of dog shit that you call a book.
Damn.
And it's not even good mythology. That's the thing too. Because, Emerson said, today's religions are tomorrow's mythology. So like the ancient Greek mythology was their religion, then became mythology. It's good mythology. The Bible isn't even good mythology. It's garbage. It's just pure, absolute. It's the worst shit ever written. And we still have this.
I never read it. I should read it someday.
Why?
Okay,
You know what? It's good for toilet paper.
Okay.
That's why.
You've read it more than once or a couple of times?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It's I studied it.
Okay.
I'm
sure you did.
Terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. And in terms of philosophy, any of the good stuff that's in there was stolen from other philosophies. Like the whole idea of the Manichaean good versus evil God, this stolen from Zoroastrianism, from the Persians. And the Christians like to say, oh, the golden rule was original. Motherfucker, Confucius wrote about it. It's been in Chinese writings for thousands of years. It's been in every Near Eastern, Far Eastern, Western. Everybody had a version of the categorical imperative. There's nothing new about it. Jesus did not come out and do anything fucking revolutionary. Okay? Everybody, and they also stole from the high Greek philosophy. I mean, it is. It's just, it's Christianity stole from everything.
Did you see Christspiracy?
No.
It's incredible, man. It's a connection to veganism and the God and the sacrificing of the animals and all this connection about how thou shalt not kill, all this stuff that basically saying that God was a vegan. It's the guys who did Cowspiracy and Seaspiracy. You got to watch it.
It incorporates the Bible?
Dude, it's the same directors and everything.
Because, I mean, there's animal
And the Last
sacrifice
Supper and all
all
that.
over the Bible.
I know, but you should definitely. I think you'd really fucking like it though.
I
Just
mean,
to see it because you're into it. And you're
I mean,
like,
I'll see
interested
it.
in
I mean, but you have to understand if anything that has to do with the Bible, I'm coming at it.
I know.
Critically.
That's what I'm saying. I love to hear you see what you think about it for sure.
I mean, I don't want to hear it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, no, I'll watch it, and that's
But
good.
these
And
guys,
anything that
it's a
promotes
pro-vegan movie, not pro-God movie.
No, if it's pro-vegan, that's fine, and whatever.
It's the same directors, yeah.
And quite honestly, whatever angle you want to get to, if it means not killing an animal or torturing an animal, I'm cool with that.
It's basically saying that people that eat meat that love God is kind of hypocrites because in the Bible it pretty much says, "Thou shalt not kill," and there's these factual things that they show that Jesus was a vegan and didn't eat the animals. It's crazy.
Well,
bro.
I hope not, because I mean, if Jesus did really live, now let's look at secular Jesus. He was kind of cool. All right, he did say some cool things, not everything, but he was okay and preached some good things. I'd love to see a Christian that actually follows his teachings. I mean, did you ever hear what Gandhi said? The best thing ever about he said, "I like your Christ, I don't like your Christians."
Wow. Okay.
Or Nietzsche, and I don't like to quote Nietzsche because it's all Sturm und Drang and all this shit. But he said the last Christian died on the cross.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like at the least Christ-like people are Christians.
It's crazy to me that the religious, like, if there is one God or whatever they think, that like, I don't think there's anything in the Bible that says you shouldn't like people who are gay. You shouldn't.
Not in the New Testament.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's like, I don't think there's any God that promotes hate.
Well, in the Bible there is.
Okay. You just told me that right now. Yeah.
I mean,
but I never read the Bible.
But the homophobia, there's none of that in the New Testament.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Like
Okay.
Jesus never addressed any of that.
Okay.
In the Old Testament, yeah.
Okay.
Hate. Oh, that's it. You want the hate? That's where you go.
Well, that's where you're coming. I didn't even know that you schooled me on that. Okay.
I mean, they should just change the name of that book to just like the Encyclopedia of Hate.
Okay.
It's hate.
Okay.
There's so much hate in it.
Because I always thought everything was about love and the earth and the animals all together and all this shit.
It's about love if you accept. It's a jealous asshole God. It's about you get love if you worship that God, maybe. Because then maybe that God will get mad at you and cause a fucking flood. Or maybe that God will get mad at you and fuck with you and kill your wife and kids and just to show the devil that you love that God so much that you'll still love him even when he kills your wife and kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
And it's terrible mythology. What's the lesson in that? There's no lesson. No. It's not like the lesson of like, okay, so I remember reading the Medea and there's a fucking lesson in that. What's the lesson in Job? That God is a dick and that I'm an idiot. That's like that I'm a masochist because I'm going to still worship the dick that's ruining my, like, taking everything I love.
Damn.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not sophisticated enough to see what the message in that is or what, the moral of the story is, but there isn't.
Yeah.
And that's why the Bible has created the most immoral society imaginable.
Crazy, man. I never knew we break it down to me like that before.
I don't know if I'm being clear about this. I might be too subtle, but I hate religion.
I know. I respect it, man. I respect your opinion on it, man. You know a lot about it too, man.
I really don't. Not that much. Not as much as like the people that I admire. No, but I do know enough to know when I know enough to know when somebody's trying to sell me bullshit.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Bad Religion?
Yeah. That first album.
Incredible, man.
Oh my God. Come on.
How can it be any worse?
I still get chills. I was going to say, with countries manufacture bombs and guns to kill your brother for something that he hasn't even done.
Dude.
That still gives me chills.
I know.
That still gives me chills.
It's incredible, man.
Oh my
God.
God.
It's crazy what we learned from hardcore. Like Dead Kennedys talking about politics. I learned so much from that band. Bad Religion, MDC. All the stuff they were singing about that's still happening today is incredible, man.
No, but Bad Religion's very, oh my God, there were some great, oh my God. The voice of God is government. Yeah. That album, man. How Could Hell Be Any Worse was a life changer for me, actually.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, that record when I first...
Especially an East Coast kid, too.
Oh, well, that's the thing about the Astoria kids. And I think that's one of the reasons that I got into hardcore so easily was they're all West Coast fanatics.
Okay.
Like when I got into Ernie, Johnny, Michelle, all of them, they got me into it. It was, okay, here's Bad Religion, here's Channel 3, here's The Descendants, here's Agent Orange, who else?
7 Seconds. Well, guess West Coast, Reno.
I
Whatever,
call them West Coast. 7 Seconds, but
best,
Youth
dude.
Brigade.
Youth Brigade, yes, dude.
Like this is how I got into it, and I was like, oh, this music's great. All that.
Agent Orange.
I said Agent Orange. All that melodic shit. Everything. That's how I got into it, and then that kind of softened me up that I can get into the East Coast stuff after that.
Yeah. I mean, Dag Nasty, East Coast, man. 7 Seconds was one of your faves too, as well.
Oh my God, 7 Seconds was a life changer.
Incredible, dude. Even all you like New Wind too, and all those other records.
Yeah, I love New Wind. I love New Wind. I love Praise.
I love Phrase. I love Soul First Revolution.
Yeah.
I love the melodic stuff so much, man.
I loved it.
I like the crew and Walk Together, but when it got melodic, I was loving it.
I loved it too.
The whole U2, the phase, and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was Praise. That phase. Yeah.
Damn. And what about your veganism for you? Go ahead, go.
How about, oh my God, Out of Touch?
You're out of touch. Whoa. Oh my God.
Well, wait a minute. How about Regress No Way?
Yeah, dude.
Regress No Way was an anti-homophobia song.
Dude, absolutely. Man Enough to Care about dad being too over manly for his kid. Dude, not just boys fun.
Kevin.
Dude, he was singing about shit nobody was singing about back then, dude. I know he's incredible lyricist. Everything he talked about and tried to make a difference in the scene is happening today. We talked about that. Fast forward, like all the diversity, but like talking about like girls in the scene and fucking. God, dude, Man Enough to Care on New Wind's one of my favorite songs.
Oh my God, I love them.
Such a great band.
Love them.
I want to get into a little bit of your veganism too, which that started. How old were you when you'd been vegetarian? In the 80s?
I went vegetarian because Walter, Civ, Gus, and all those guys did it.
Yeah,
and I thought,
same, me too. Yeah,
yeah. And then I remember reading. Then I started reading about why.
Yeah.
And it just made sense.
Totally. We had the PETA videos and the pamphlets back then that shows.
Yeah, PETA was a very different company too back then.
Oh, for sure.
They were much more. They weren't really doing as much of the antics. They were very militant and very
way different now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they still have
still done a lot.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it was a very different group. But I mean, it made sense to me. I mean, I've been vegan now. How many years am I vegan? 16 vegan.
But veggie before that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, that sucks is I used to be one of those people that was intimidated by veganism, and I would try it, and then I like, oh, I gotta have cheese, and then
cheese was a hard one to give up, though.
Yeah, it was, but then I remember what happened. It just clicked me one day. I said, if I'm gonna do this, why am I doing this? Why don't I just eat a burger? And that was it. And that was it. And then and the thing was, it was before all these melty cheeses now, and
the cheeses were rough back then, bro.
Yeah. And but that was in a way I miss it, because honestly, I said, you know what, I had made up my mind. I said, I'm just not gonna have cheese again, and that's fine, because cheese bonds to the opiate receptors in your brain, so it hits you in the same way that heroin does.
I did hear that.
So people get addicted to cheese, apparently, from what I know.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
that's what But then in a way, I got to tell you, Toby, in a way, all the new cheeses scare me, because sometimes if I'm not getting a dedicated vegan restaurant, if I'm not, I'm worried that they might have slipped in the fake stuff, the real stuff, because sometimes I can't
tell the difference.
Yeah,
yeah. Same with the Impossible Burger, seeing that stuff too. I think
it gets a little.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you miss like the hard cheeses and shit. Yeah. I kind of missed the.
It's not that I missed them,
but I kind of missed the hockey puck Boca burgers too.
I love Boca burgers.
Me too, dude. And like the hippie garden patties. I don't, because I'm not well, like the meat over processed meaty ones are kind of hard. The over processed, I love that they're here for the animals. I love that people go to McDonald's and get a burger. I love that.
Me too.
It's like a gateway for people to try veganism. Doesn't mean I have to go eat it there, but I love that it's there. It doesn't really do good in my stomach, but I don't mind the old school burgers. They're like just the healthiest homemade burgers.
Do you know when I feel best? When I feel best when I'm just eating tofu. And vegetables
all week long. Tofu, beans, rice, dude.
Tofu, tempeh,
classic dojo style, bro.
Yeah.
We used to get the
least processed that it is. My God, remember the hijiki tofu sandwich in dojo?
Yeah. The carrot ginger with the brown.
Carrot ginger, yes.
With the brown rice for like $2.
Yes.
God. But yeah, I'm back to the basics on veganism, just like veggies and nuts and berries and all that stuff.
That's it. I eat a lot of nuts. I eat a lot of nuts and veggies. And just not like as
your family's vegan, obviously.
Oh hell yeah, wife is vegan and our kid's vegan, and she knows
amazing, man.
She knows it, man. She's good. She's not even 3 years old, and we'll be in the market, and she'll be like, Daddy, I want this. Ruthie, it doesn't have animals in it. Like,
wow.
Well, we're gonna check, Ruthie. We're gonna check. Ruthie, it has animals in it. Oh, we're vegan. We don't eat animals.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
But it's not just, and it's not indoctrination. It's one thing. It's we're paying the bills right now. And we're not buying carcasses. But the other thing is, why we do this.
Yeah.
People underestimate the intelligence of children because they don't have the vocabulary that adults have, but they get everything.
Yeah,
they
smart,
fucking get everything.
Totally smart.
And she knows. It's like, we don't need animals. Do you know why we don't need animals, honey? So our cats are Lysat and Celery, but she calls Lysat Sasa. It's so cute. Like, would you eat Sasa, honey? No. Then why? Then that's why we don't eat cows.
Yeah,
and we don't eat pigs, and we don't eat chickens, and we don't eat fish, and we just don't eat it because we don't do that. Because, that's just, animals are our friends.
Yeah, it's good she knows, like, the cow goes moo, the pig goes oink, and we don't eat them. Like, we were like the farmer in the Delos books growing up, and I would love to know. My mom was feeding me that, but I didn't know. Well, do you know what I mean? The honesty there.
One of the things that's always brought up that I love is like, we would take our kids pumpkin picking, right? We would take our kids apple picking. I've done it, right? We're not going to take our kids to a slaughterhouse.
No, it's a good point, dude. It's a great point, dude.
If the child is going to be traumatized by watching the origins of their food, the problem is the food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah,
really.
That's a great point, man.
And the other thing I heard somebody bring up is like, so all these laws now where they don't want the slaughterhouses, the CAFOs, they don't want anybody filming them. And somebody said, when was the last time you saw a fucking kale farmer say, "Don't film me"?
Yeah, it's true.
Don't film me watering my kale.
I know, man. So true.
So it's just such a typical human thing of, instead of, particularly an American thing, let's not address the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Let's address the symptom. It's like,
yeah.
This is what we do. We're not addressing the cause of the roots of racism in this country. We just kind of want to gloss over it and say that we're over it, and say, oh, I'm not racist. I voted for Obama. I'm not racist. I love black music.
Yeah. I have a black friend.
I have a black friend. Exactly. The black friend defense.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with, like, okay, the problem is the food.
Totally.
The problem isn't that children can see inside the slaughterhouse.
No.
So that's what you do. Is you just put the walls up so they can't see this, instead of the problem is to get to the source of the problem.
Absolutely, man.
So,
and people rather not change their diet. They'd rather just be on a pill and eat what the fuck they want, and not, like, I don't know. I think it's all convenience for people. It's their, what is it, tradition. It's all these things that we've been forced to do our whole life. Like, milk does the body good, and the 4 food groups and all this shit we grew up watching on television. And we have to have this for protein. I hate the whole protein.
We get too
thing.
much protein.
It's so
everything has protein in it, by the way. Everything's got protein. But the other thing is, I do have to say this. Look, any way we can get people to, because it's for everything from climate change to these poor tortured innocent creatures.
Yeah.
Whatever way that you can. And anything anybody does, even if it's just Meatless Monday, whatever, it helps.
It helps, dude.
It helps.
It helps, dude.
But one thing is, going at it ethically is the strongest way. You're least likely to stop doing it if you go at it ethically. Because that's the thing to me. And the thing that clicked with me, and I remember this with Gus Pena, is he bought me a prescription to Vegetarian Times in '87. And then that's when it clicked right away. It was so obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck, this is an animal. This is a sentient being. This is something that gives birth to a baby and loves that baby, and that baby loves her back.
Yeah.
And that is, that's the strongest bond, and that's the thing that I'm trying to impart, and Caitlin and I, because she's also this for ethical reasons, to Ruth. Is like, this is why we're doing this. Hold on, I'm getting all these messages.
That's okay. We're back on the topic. We're talking about veganism. It's just amazing to see, like, all this. Obviously, Cats and Dogs on that record, singing on that, and living in the GB house. I became a vegetarian because of all you guys. But just the way veganism has come and how we've seen it, the world change throughout all these years, and knowing that I feel like hardcore bands, obviously Morrissey as well, were singing about this stuff way back then, and it wasn't commercial. And just to see the impact and how there's everywhere you go, there's a vegan option. It's really crazy, man.
Think about this, Toby. You don't have to explain what veganism is anymore.
I know. Or people couldn't pronounce the word back then.
Do you remember, like, I remember it was like, okay. And sometimes I wouldn't say I'm very strict vegetarian, which means I don't eat any dairy. And,
Yeah.
And then I remember when it first started changing, when somebody once said to me, "Oh, so you're vegan?" Okay, that word's made it into the mainstream now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's huge.
But
you don't have to explain what it is anymore.
And it's also became almost a negative word for some people because of how abrasive and judgmental some vegans are, which I respect. I respect every vegan's way of how they save animals because they're saving animals. Whether you're out there and at the pig farms, I mean at the slaughterhouse. I used to go to the slaughterhouse.
I know you used to do that, yeah.
Yeah, or people are like going throwing stuff in people's fur coats, whatever. Do your thing. That's not my thing. That's not how I get down.
That's not my thing.
But like I like to lead by example and let people know, oh, why do you look so young? Why can you still skate a half pipe when you're 54? Oh, I've been eating like this since 1988, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like lead by example and a positive way, but not shove it down people's throats, man. Well, it works for some people.
Okay, so I remember I came to this realization years and years ago because my first activism was that real aggressive in your face.
Absolutely. When you first start, you're excited. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I thought to myself, well, let me think here a minute. If somebody came at me screaming at me, even if they were screaming, Fender basses are the greatest fucking thing in the world. If they're coming at me like that, my first instinct is I'm not gonna. So what's the point over here? Is the point to is the point to scream and yell and make myself seen and heard, and then alienate somebody?
Yeah.
Or is the point to be kind? Because my thing is this: certain arguments win themselves. And they have to be presented properly. I think that if somebody's being honest with themselves and if somebody has an idea of true fairness and equity, then socialism is an argument that wins itself. Okay?
Yeah.
I think veganism is an argument that wins itself. So the goal, of course, is to curtail a behavior that harms a life, right?
Yes.
And if you're screaming at people and condescending people, you're not gonna affect that. So you can go home and feel really good about the fact that you put on a performance, but there's a fucking cow that's gonna die. That if you didn't put on your performance and you treated the other person with a little bit of respect and kindness, they might think, I mean, one of the nicest things that my wife says to me when we first met, she wasn't vegan, she wasn't vegetarian even, and she said to me when she started doing it, she said, "You're the first vegan I met that was kind to me and that wasn't an asshole to me."
Wow.
And
she wasn't vegan when you met?
No.
That's amazing.
And I mean, she's been vegan now for over 10 years.
I love that.
Yeah, but and I'm not. My point is, it's not me. It's not yay me. It's just that works.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I just
impact.
I don't want to be a dick to anybody.
I know. Me.
I just want to be nice.
Me either, man.
I'm conflict averse.
Why be nice to animals and mean to humans? That makes no sense.
Veganism, exactly. It's
compassion for all living things.
All living things.
Not just ones that are cute.
Not just the ones that are cute, even the ugly motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. It's true.
Yeah.
But that song had such an impact on me. Obviously, I became vegetarian in 1988.
This is why I love it. Walter and I were actually talking about this recently. And the beauty of that song is that it's exactly what I'm talking about now.
Facts.
It's not going up to somebody and bludgeoning them with the idea of veganism. It's saying, hey, let me ask you a question here.
Yeah.
Makes you think. You come to your conclusion, and then you give yourself credit for coming to that conclusion.
Absolutely, man.
And that's how you do things. And that's how because you just treat people with respect and with dignity, and the argument wins itself.
And it's a positive animal rights song, but it's also about compassion for everything. It's such a positive, uplifting song that the people sing along. Then when it gets to "Thou shalt not kill," like, okay, now I like that. It's like it's so fun and it's clever, but it also has like the seriousness to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it makes you really think. And I think that song has more of impact than maybe other songs are just straight up like more aggressive about. Maybe not. I'm not sure.
I mean, everything has its place. I'm happy that I'm associated with the one that's kind.
Oh hell yeah, man!
I mean,
game changer, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that's my thing. To me, there are so many songs that. I mean, I play bass on it, but
I sang backup on it, bitch.
But there's something special about that song, and the greatest thing in the world to me when I was doing a lot of activism is how many people would say to me, "I became vegan because of that song."
Absolutely, man.
And then I would say, "Well, I I'll pass it on to the person who wrote it.
Do you know what? You know what?
I can't take credit for it.
You know what else came out that year? Is My Philosophy too. KRS-One came out.
Yes, remember that?
No vegetarian, no goat, no ham, no chicken, no turkey, no hamburger. Because to me, that's suicide self-murder.
Yeah,
that was sick because I loved hip hop too at the time, and then also I'm in this hardcore scene, and that was beautiful.
Well, there was so much overlap. Remember? I mean, think about it back then. Before hip hop, before rap, hip hop was a worldwide thing. It started in the Bronx and in Manhattan, and it was, to me, it was there. Because I was a kid and I was riding the subways because I was a kid in New York.
Graffiti, all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of it. But I didn't realize then how underground it was. And then, then there's hardcore and we're just there was like the Venn diagram overlapped with so much of it.
Roger said that yesterday. It's so true, man.
But then what's funny is that hip hop became the biggest form of music in the world.
Yes, man.
And yet another thing that white people should fall on their knees and thank black people for, because every cultural goddamn fucking achievement in the United States we can trace back to Africa or people from Africa, of African descent. It's like,
yeah. And you loved hip hop as a kid too? I mean, you loved it?
No, I didn't. Not initially.
Okay.
I didn't get it. And then
Run DMC, Public Enemy. Because they were like punk. They were political.
Public Enemy is what did it to me.
They taught me about places I've never been to, different neighborhoods, different culture.
Yeah.
They told so many stories of stuff that I feel like I was there and I was learning about the culture.
It was Public Enemy. And I remember
sitting with
Dylan Trifles, Walter's brother, and it hit me. It hit me like a fucking thunderclap.
Damn.
Chuck D's voice. It's the timbre of his voice.
Hard, dude.
It's his cadence, his rhyme, and just
lyrics, dude.
And the fucking lyrics. I mean, and like I said, when I saw that interview with him, and he said that the Clash was a major influence on the concept of Public Enemy, because they were fucking punk. They're political. They're hard left wing politics.
Yeah, dude.
And just like, I mean, come on, referencing Malcolm X. I mean, he talks about Chesimard, Joanne Chesimard. Like, I'm learning from you, Chuck.
Yeah,
I'm fucking learning. I'm learning.
Yeah.
And
I love that amazing picture of Flavor and Chuck wearing Minor Threat shirts. It's a Glennie Freeman photo. I'm like, holy
I love Glenn.
shit.
He's amazing.
But it's like these guys know about hard. They know about what's going on in the scene. You know what I mean?
Chuck D. I'm sorry. I mean, they're
incredible, man.
Just, oh my God.
Do you listen to hip hop still at all? Or no.
The old stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just it with music.
When did hip hop lose you? Like in the 90s? You were like all on your own different world?
Nothing really lost me. I don't know what happened. It's just as I got older. You know what happened to me? What happened to me as I got older, I started getting more into roots music.
Yeah.
So I started going the other way. So, for example, I started getting into, going back and finding Delta blues from the 20s and the 30s. And then from there, I was like, all right, let me go even further back, and it's like field hollers and work songs.
Yeah.
Where the blues came from.
Damn.
And you go
real roots of it, yeah.
If you go before that, there's no recording. And then before that is Africa.
Damn.
So like that, so I went back with that, or I went back with jazz, and I went back, and that's the thing. It's like, I feel bad because I want to listen to new music, and I'm happy to listen to new music, whatever the genre is, but I find myself like the music I listen to now is like before my time even.
Yes.
It's 60s soul, 1930s blues, 19 whatever. Field hollers and sea shanties.
Right now you listen to that kind of stuff, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was driving yesterday and I had on these the field hollers and work songs, and I was like, this is the beginning. This is it.
Yeah.
Right here. These songs became the blues and jazz, and became R&B, and then became rock and roll. I mean, jump and R&B, and then rock and roll, and then everything, and it just goes all straight from there. But you go back there and you listen to these songs. The shouts and the field hollers and it's a straight line.
Yeah,
it's a straight line. It's all from Africa.
It's cool. You listen to all types of music though. Yeah, you've always been like that.
Music is just, that's the thing. It's like what kind of music do you like? I like the music that I like.
Yeah,
it's not good or bad music. It's just good or bad to me.
Yeah.
And it's not about the genre.
Yeah,
it's just, I mean, yeah, of course there are genres that I prefer, where I like more artists in that genre.
I remember hearing Sugar Cubes for the first time and living with Walter. He would bring all his new music home that wasn't hardcore.
Walter always got me into new shit.
Yeah, he opened my mind to like stuff that I was in my punk rock bubble. Like he brought home like the Smiths, and he brought home Sugar Cubes and beer, all that stuff. I was
He
like,
got me into REM. He got me to the Sugar Cubes. He got me to the Replacements. I went to see the Sugar Cubes. Were you with Walter and me when we went to CB's in '87 and saw them?
No, I didn't live there yet. No, I moved to '88.
Oh my God.
It's just so cool because he was so open-minded back then, just like turning me on to all this other shit.
He's still like this. He still knows it. He listens to, he's encyclopedic and he still listens to, it's
he's
amazing.
Incredible. What amazing career he's had, and like just the different layers of Walter Schreiber. I think he's an incredible songwriter, and you know, he's like the East Coast Tim Armstrong to me. I always say that, and everything he's been involved in, and like it's amazing, man. Probably signed to a record label the longest with anybody else I know, Island Records, for like 20 years.
I adore Walter.
Incredible. Are you listening to new hardcore bands? You pay attention to it?
I do when we play, and they're really good.
Playing with them, yeah.
And they're really good. I mean, I'm like I said,
Plus, you're off social media too. You're full on like adult dad life in the mix. You're driving. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, in this whole different world. No, it's no for real. You know, on social media, you're not fucking following the dumb shit. You're a dad, bro. You're living the dad life. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You're domestic. You're fucking.
I cook.
Are you a handyman?
No.
I'm terrifying.
I'm the worst.
I'm terrifying.
That's the joke. The joke was that like Caitlin and I if we buy it when we're saving to buy it, but we're gonna buy a co-op. Because I was like, babe, if we buy a house, do you think I could fix a fucking roof if it leaks?
Sometimes I feel bad. Like I'm like a grown ass man. I can't do shit with that kind of stuff. It sucks.
Look, you know what? Very recently I read the best definition of stupidity. Stupidity is not being able to recognize one's limitations. I'd like to think I'm not stupid. You know what my limitations are?
What?
Handyman.
Okay.
I'll leave that to handyman. You know what I could fix? I could fix basses.
True.
That's it. I could fix basses and I could sew a little bit.
Sew?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you think I'm going to fix a fucking pipe?
Well, you can sew a patch on or your jacket?
Yeah, I could sew. I could
do
sew.
that too.
Yeah, I made myself a scarf.
Damn.
But you want to know something? A pipe? If I tried to fix a pipe, I'll probably poison the entire neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave that to a plumber.
That's true. I have much respect for plumbers and carpenters and all that stuff.
And electricity?
Roger's an electrician.
I'm not even fucking with that
No,
because that causes fires.
I know.
I'll get a union electrician. And you know what? You charge a lot of money as an electrician because that's really important. A roofer should fix the roof.
No, that's a good point.
You know what? Just the same thing. Like, unless the plumber's a bass player, if the plumber's bass is broken, I'm gonna fix the plumber's bass.
That's true. Yeah, Roger's electrician. He did all the squats back in the day. All the electricity.
Roger?
Yeah. Did electricity in all the squats. 10th Street squat, 6th Street squat.
How have I not known
He went
this?
to Harley Davidson school. He can do a motorcycle. He can take apart a car.
That
He
I know.
can build. He can do electricity. He does everything, bro.
I didn't know electricity. I know
He's
Roger.
a real tradesman, dude.
Roger's the fucking best.
It's incredible, bro.
And
he's still singing the agnostic front at 60 years old, killing it, man.
I fucking love him. I love Roger so much.
We come from such a beautiful, dysfunctional, wild family of people. Like I talk about all the time with every New Yorker. I came to New York. I had thin skin. I got tougher skin from all the love and the ball breaking that I think just New York people do to other people. The breaking the balls and the nicknames and the girly man from Maryland and people teasing you. But then you get that thick skin but people protect you. Like only we can make fun of Arthur or Toby. Anybody else is getting fucked up. This is our boy and we're going to make fun of him. We're going to toughen him. It's just I'm so what happened to me, like how it happened, going to New York.
You hit it exactly. Like if
That
we can do it, you
love.
can't though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That New York tough skin I got from moving. There's people breaking your balls and all that shit. This has been really fun. A couple things on here. Cats or dogs for you? Obviously, you're a cat dude.
I love all the animals.
I know.
But in terms of living, cats.
Okay.
I'm a cat guy.
Would you have a top 5 New York hardcore bands?
Yeah.
Damn. What you got? Let's think, bro. You could be in the bands too. If
Or
you want.
is it top 5 albums?
Whatever you want. Roger puts AF, but he can't put it in the list. He said obviously, but
okay.
You can do bands or albums. Whatever you want.
We can do both.
It sucks because Start
All right,
Today
you
is
want
in that fucking list.
top 5? Okay, let's do top 5 New York hardcore albums first.
And you could be on the album. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
1, Victim in Pain.
Sick.
2, Victim in Pain. 3, Victim in Pain.
Damn.
4, Victim in Pain.
Wow. 5.
You know what I say? That's how important that record
But you know,
was.
Start Today is the top 5 for
I can't.
so many people.
I can't. I have to recuse myself.
I know.
But top 5 hardcore bands from New York, it's kind of hard to say right now. AF.
You've been in all of them. Just kidding.
No, AF.
Yeah.
Damn,
you can't put GB in there. Youth of Today.
I could put Youth of Today in there, right?
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna have to
We
go.
got the Chromax. We got Sick of It
Underdog.
All.
Underdog.
Underdog. Yeah, dude, you were in there that long. You'd say that, yeah.
Oh no, I can't put the Underdog in there.
Fuck that. Underdog's sick.
But then there were some other bands.
Underdog, Youth of Today,
Dude,
Agnostic Front.
Reagan Youth.
Pretty sick.
Reagan Youth changed my life when I saw them.
Okay.
Dave Insurgent was one of the best frontmen.
You got Murphy's Law.
Do Bad Brains count as New York?
Yeah, bro, for sure.
That's the big question.
I
I'm going to say they
know.
do. I'm going to say they can count as both.
Okay, yeah.
So, okay, Bad Brains, AF.
Damn. Bad Brains, you said Bad
Reagan Youth. I'm just talking about like New York bands that really. Let me just think about bands
Impact
that really really blew really fucked my world up. Like Impact and AF is in there and Reagan Youth is in there. Those are the two.
Dude.
It's not even about like who's the over the long term.
Yeah.
Like which bands I like the most.
Yeah.
But the bands that were just a shift. Like my world shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And AF's number one there.
Yeah. We ever skin back then?
No, I never called myself a skin.
Yeah.
I used to shave my head. I never called myself a skinhead.
I feel like New York skin's like almost like sneaker skin vibe.
It was a sneaker, yeah, but I didn't do it.
Yeah.
No, I never called myself.
And you were straight edge too for a while, right?
I was straight edge, yeah.
X-Dub, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
From what age to what age?
16 to like 20.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably 4 amazing years though, for sure, dude, especially at that time.
Yeah,
A lot of people talk about being straight edge at that young age where there was the most peer pressure and probably saved their lives in a way going through that kind of
I don't know how it is now. I know that growing up in Queens with what the culture was with white kids in Queens my age, straight edge was the best thing. That gave me the strength.
Okay.
Because it was like just drink.
Super punk and rebellious to be straight edge.
Drink, drinking.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Smoking weed.
Yeah. Like, oh, you don't drink? What do you,
Yeah, I can't say the word.
I'm not saying that word because I don't use that word, but
yeah,
that's what I would get called all the time. It's like, yeah, that's what I am, I guess.
Because alcohol makes you a man. Alcohol
of course
makes
it does.
That's another thing, that society and all this shit, our whole lives and shit.
Oh
Crazy.
my God, I don't want to talk about what concepts of
I
manhood
know.
are. Antediluvian concepts of manhood. And it's like,
I feel like I have a whole podcast you breaking down all this shit.
Well, no, it's just my whole thing now is like, oh, okay, so what is it that, so being mean to somebody, being abusive to my kid, hitting somebody, fucking somebody up, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I guess I'm not a man. And I'm cool with that.
Same.
I'm all right with it. I mean, if we're defining it by like a physiological thing, then I must be, because I have a kid, so I used what I have right, to get that. But like please.
I know, it's such a weird thing with all this macho shit.
Are you compensating for something?
Yeah,
that's my question. As I ride around in my little Prius and I see you in your big truck and you're hating me, look at me, I'm happy, I'm secure right here. What is it that's missing from your life?
Yeah, man. It's so true, man.
Like, really, what is it that's missing from your life?
Also, when people try to say vegans are like weak, it's like, it actually takes a strong-minded person to like make a decision like that.
Tell a gorilla that.
And a loving, compassionate person. Yeah, for sure. One of the strongest animals on the planet.
Tell a hippopotamus or a rhino.
The gorilla thing gets me because people trip out when you tell them that they're vegan. Like, what? It's crazy. Do you have any regrets in your life?
It's so funny that you should ask, because I was thinking about it recently. No.
I like that.
And the reason is that, even the stupid shit I did, I'm the sum total of all my experiences.
Yeah.
So this is what I am. And right now, the person that I am in this particular timeline has the daughter I have.
Yeah, man.
So I wouldn't change shit.
Love that, dude.
That's it.
You're an optimist or pessimist?
For you, I'm optimistic. For me, I'm pessimistic.
Thank you.
No, my thing is like, in the end, if you wake up every day, you're an optimist.
Yeah, man.
That's how I see it. I don't off myself, so I am an optimist.
Off myself.
A cautious optimist. I know, but what I'm trying to do is look at the bigger picture and look at the forest for the trees, So I know that shit's about to get really bad again.
Absolutely.
But long term, things are moving in the right direction. And history corrects itself. And that's why we say, I love the expression, you're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah.
Because eventually, Aristotle said the highest pursuit is truth, right? And what is it the Buddha said? And Purcell reminded me of this. What are the three things that can't be hidden are the sun, the moon, and the truth? Damn. The truth comes out,
Yeah, I believe that.
And that's why, the wrong side of history.
I love that.
And everybody who's drinking from the fountain of hate right now and wants to perpetuate the bigotry and whatnot, you're on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, man.
And I hope I'm alive long enough to see that history correction.
Me too.
And maybe I hope I'm also evolved enough that I'm not going to sit there and remind you of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And for our kids too, in their generation, my son he's 21 now. Like, yeah, it's such a crazy world, especially with social media, especially with everything. It's a crazy time to be alive.
It is.
So yeah, no regrets, optimist, pessimist. What about some daily rituals for you? I know you want one coffee a day guy.
Coffee. That's my thing. I wake up at 5:40 in the morning.
Every day.
Every day.
Do you sleep good at night?
No.
Okay.
I don't sleep. I'm a nervous wreck, and I sleep
Still,
very little.
huh? Okay.
And I sleep very little.
Even off social media, you're still nervous wreck? Okay.
Nervous wreck.
Okay.
And that's why social media was making it worse. So I wake up at 5:30, 5:40 every morning. My wife's asleep. My kid's asleep. I make my fucking coffee, sit in the dark, and I have my coffee and do a puzzle.
In the dark. Sick.
It's the best thing. It's the most zen one. It smells perfect. I drink black coffee.
That's it.
That's it. And then I get
Rollin' style.
It's amazing. And then it makes me shit. And then I can shower and I get going.
And so you're just doing daddy shit all day long, daddy husband shit all day long.
Yeah. I mean, when she's in daycare, so that during the day, but I mean, I was thinking of her every fucking minute of the day. But yeah, dad shit is the.
I like it.
I like it. I like reading. I give her every other night. We alternate who gives her the bath and puts her to sleep.
Cool.
I get to read stories to her.
It's awesome.
I get to be a toy. Dude, the other day she loves
Christmas comments. Beautiful. Yeah.
She loves bows.
Okay.
So she always like, Dad, what does she want? She wants to put them on my head.
Nice.
Of course.
I'm sure you got your nails painted already.
Whatever. Yeah.
Sick.
Anything she wants. Anything.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want? I'm a toy. I know I'm your daddy. I'm a toy. You can do whatever you want. You want me to wear a big red bow on my head? Perfect. That's
whatever,
it.
Yeah.
You want to put these stickers on my face? That's it. I'll keep
awesome.
them there all day.
I love it. What about exercising?
Walking is all I do.
Yeah.
I like to walk a lot.
You've never been out of shape. The whole time I know.
But I've never been in shape either.
You ever been jacked?
No, I worked out once with Walter and Siv and Gus when we were teenagers. We worked out and I went home.
And you couldn't walk?
And I was in so much pain. And I remember Walter called me the next day. He's like, were you coming around today for him? I was like, no, I'm not doing this. What do you mean, Arthur? He's like, this hurts, Walter. He's like, I know, but that's how you're getting muscle. I said, I was thinking about this last night. I have all the muscle I need. I can pick up a Fender bass.
Damn.
That's all I need out of my life.
That's all you need.
I respect people that do it. I understand.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not for me.
Yeah. That's cool. You should know that. How about yoga or anything like that? No?
I've been wanting to do it for years.
I think you'd be great at that.
I know.
Man.
My wife and Walter and everybody are just like, you really.
As we get older too.
My sister did it. It did wonders for her. I know. That's on my list of I will do it.
Yeah, I need to step into yoga too. I did it once in my life. I'd like to do it again. I think it'd be nice. We gotta stay flexible because we're still playing music,
Yeah.
So yeah, what else am I gonna say in this thing? My closet in Queens. That was fun. Did you ever visit me? Alan Cage out of the closet. Yeah.
The best thing about the closet was how neat you had it.
I did have it pretty neat, man.
It looked like a sailor lived there.
Yeah, so I lived in the closet in Queens, and yeah, it was crazy.
Alan Cage's closet.
Yeah, we had weights in there too. We worked out in there too. That was interesting. Yeah,
I couldn't believe how neat you had it.
Well, my closet, you remember that?
Yes,
I might have posters in there too, man.
Yes, you did. It was this, and you folded everything nicely.
I think I paid $100 or $200. It was so cheap, dude. We lived by the Murder King in Jackson Heights. Yeah. That was so sick. Yeah,
right off Northern Boulevard.
Taking the trains, all that stuff. Yeah, man, that was such a. You're such a big part of me moving to New York and everything, man. It's crazy, man. It's pretty wild, bud. I'm
glad you did.
Just meeting you guys at that show and becoming pen pals with Timmy, or before that, and then moving to New York, and then you took me in, and then all that. It's just crazy how life is, the timing,
We had a lot of fun. Yeah. I'm glad you moved to New York. That was a good thing.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me in your house with your dad and your fucking sister. How much older is she to me?
She's 1.5 years older than me, so she's 3.5 years older.
Oh, yeah. She was an older woman, yeah.
Yeah.
I left her. Tell her I said hi. I had that blanket with the hole in it. I pulled my head through it. Dude, I don't know what the fuck was going on there. Your dad was so cool. Yeah, shout out to your pops, man.
He was rough back then. He was still a little angry back. He became a lot softer and sweeter as he got older. He did. He became, he softened up.
I know.
And I love that about my dad, because instead of becoming a mean, miserable old man, he became a sweeter man. Yeah. He became mellower and kinder.
That makes me happy, man.
Because he had love in his heart. That's the difference. Totally. Because my dad was, nothing malicious ever with that.
Yeah.
Man.
And also, you were kind of a handful later on in life, coming back and forth. He's probably worried about you.
Yeah.
You're coming back and forth all fucking whatever, the times in your life.
Yeah, I definitely put him through it.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Did he still have the hair like later on
the
in
wig?
life? Yeah, later on.
He finally gave it up.
I don't want to say it on here, but yeah.
Why? No.
Okay, his dad had this crazy hair. It reminded me of one of the guys.
It was a wig.
But the guy in Goodfellas, God, I'm going to sing you the picture. One of the main dudes had
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
It was this crazy like pompadour. I don't know what the fuck it was, like Elvis type hair. But your dad was straight up bald back then. I was so young and naive. I didn't even fucking know.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this.
My sister drove him so crazy with it. Like she just wore him down so hard about the wig. She just really finally he just stopped.
But I was like
wearing
19. I was like, yo, his dad's got crazy hair. But so he was bald back then.
Yeah.
And so when did he give it up? You think?
I don't know the exact date.
No, but
the last years of his life. Like
so
before he got sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My sister finally just wore him down.
Well, you got a good head of hair, bro. You're hanging in there good, man.
We'll see. But thank you. But my sister wore him down. She was like, Dad, I can't. Dad, you
really?
Look yeah. She could talk to him. And finally, he was just like, fuck. And he was liberated. He's like, you know what? Fuck it.
Really?
Yeah. And
he shit in the fire or something. Yeah. Is your sister married now and kids and stuff?
She's married. Yeah. She has a daughter. She's going to be 14 next month.
I love to see her again. It's been years. It's been like 30 years since that. That's crazy. Yeah, good for her, man.
My niece is a good kid. She's a sweet kid.
Well, here we are, bro. In my kitchen, fucking 30 years later. I'm gonna see Grilled Biscuits play tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so crazy how life is and how we're still doing this stuff and we're still kind of big kids. We have responsibilities, but we're still on stage playing with our friends, and it's a beautiful thing, dude. It's unreal, dude, how long this shit's lasted and how the impact Grilled Biscuits had, especially on not just me, but the whole world, and just.
And then what happened?
Together,
then you formed your own band that's been pretty fucking made a lot of people happy too.
Thank you, man.
A lot, including me.
Thank you.
It's funny. I always tell you every time we play together, I'm always like, oh yeah. Last time we played together, I went home and I was like, Caitlin, I always forget how much I like H2O. It's the same thing with the Souls. I forget how happy they make me feel, and then I watch them play and I say, oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, man.
You guys and the Souls are two bands that just, every time I see you, I'm like, how does somebody have a bad time at these shows?
Thank you. I love playing shows with you guys. I think H2O Grilled Biscuits is such a fun package. We have so many good shows.
I agree with you.
Man.
I completely agree with you.
I'd like to do more of that next year, man.
I would very much like to do that.
And would there be new GB songs ever?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, it's really up to...
And it's kind of cool that it's like that. It's kind of cool that like the 7-inch was cool when that came out. But I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And I think about it is, who's going to write it?
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that could write those songs is Walter.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't think so. I mean,
you never know.
Who knows?
But you don't need it either. It's not like you need a new song.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crushing. It's fucking, it's phenomenal, man. But thank you for being here. I know you slept. You've been up since like 5 a.m. New York time.
Yeah, so that's 4 a.m. New York time. So it's 1 a.m.
But I'm so happy we did this.
Me too.
It was 6 years ago. We did a phone call, whatever.
This is much better.
I love catching up with you, and you've been such a big part of my life. And
I love you, buddy.
I'm happy we're still friends, and I'm glad you love the bass, all that stuff.
Yeah, Toby made my dreams come true last year. Everybody, Toby got me a Fender, a US AVRI, American Vintage Reissue 1954 blonde precision bass.
That sounds really crazy to me. I'm sure it was really good. I don't even know what the fuck it was.
No, it's amazing. It's because
he just sent me a bass he wanted. I hit my friend up for it, but like to me, it was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna get my friend Arthur bass. He's my boy. But to him, it's like a big deal because it's something he wanted. So I'm glad I made that happen.
Well, if you had told me at 11, 12 years old when I was first that someday I would get a free Fender bass, I'd just what? No, that's not going to happen. But anyway.
Did they sponsor you at all?
No, and it's cool because I don't really need them anymore. Okay, so the thing about that bass was, so I had two Fender bass. I had a jazz. I still have a jazz bass and a 60 reissue precision bass, 64 reissue jazz bass, and they started reissuing that. And I said to my wife, I said, look at this, and she said, are you going to buy it? No, I said, no, I'm not going to buy it. I don't need it. I said,
yeah.
And $2,500 is for Ruth. We can't do that. I said,
yeah.
Now. I love it, and I would love it, but I can't justify spending that money. And then we played that show last year, and Adam said, Toby's got a deal with Fender. So, and then you got it, and it was funny because I still couldn't believe it when I got home and I saw the box in front of my house, and it's funny. I said, well, I got it. And
I'm so happy to do that for you, man.
And I love that bass. I love it, and now I'm perfect. The only other thing I would probably get at some point,
Moon.
I haven't had a fretless bass in years, but I don't need it right now. And
I got you, bro. It's easy for me, bro. We're okay right now.
It's
Thank
the least
you.
I could do. He took me in and gave me a blanket with a hole in it. I got to live in your house.
But you got me a very expensive American.
Oh, those are expensive too. Okay, yeah.
It's $2,500.
Okay.
That's why when I told you, I was like, I'm not asking you for something cheap. I'm asking you for like one of their top line things, man.
No.
That's the American vintage reissues are like.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you're my family, bro, and I appreciate you. You quiet, mama. But yeah, I appreciate you, and obviously there was no big deal for me, dude.
All right. I love you.
I love sharing all my hookups. Anytime people lace me up with sponsors, I give everybody that. I love sharing my stuff I get for free because I know I appreciate it and other people appreciate it. And some things more than I do. Like I don't even play bass or guitar. Like you saw the Fender stuff I had here. Yeah.
My instruments are my babies. I
know,
appreciate
I
it.
know.
I treat them like they're my babies.
I know.
I love them. All right.
Is it true you made love to a bass once? I'm just kidding.
No.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, wait a minute. That's a rumor I don't want out there.
I'm just kidding, dude.
I mean, what
you have a Fender bass tat? Oh, you do have a Fender bass tat.
I don't have a Fender. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, Dan. I do. I do have it. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I do. So that's good too. I have my cat, the cat. Yeah, I got everything. That tattoo has a Fender. It's a Fender, Fred Perry, and cat.
Dude, covered it all, dude.
Dan Smith
You're free
covered
Fred
it all.
Perry for life now, probably.
I got
no. Yeah.
No, I don't get it free anymore.
All right.
So that worked. I got a lot of it though. I don't care. I like it's a good company that they're doing a lot of ethical things, so I don't mind.
That's
paying
cool
for it. Yeah, they're doing some cool shit.
Well, hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for being in
Thanks
some of the greatest
Toby.
bands that changed my life and our friendship and all that. And I appreciate you. And if you want to reach out to Arthur, you can't because he's not on social media. So you want to see him, go see him in real life at a Gorilla Biscuits show. He'll say hi to you. He's very approachable, and he's not on social media, which I respect so much and jealous of. And I don't know. Love you. Thanks for being here.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Gotta give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years. And my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people, and I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life, they sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other, and that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much, didn't give me much details of anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH2O and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Removery has 155 locations and 1.8 million treatments. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos, from day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over a 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to Removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to. They help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves, and the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call.